Let's get nasty on a Tuesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 201, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Appreciate everybody listening, whether you're in your car or maybe you're checking us out on the Air Alliance Team YouTube channel.
Maybe you're in line, getting ready to vote.
Maybe you're getting in line, ready to vote. You got us streaming on the Schaefer Door 101 ESPN app. Either way, appreciate you tuning in.
Been a while.
Creed's here.
Creed, Stained. Shout out to the Snake Pit. Appreciate everybody watching today. All right, the Blues get back into action tonight. They have the Lightning pregame starting at 6 o'clock. Jamie will be with us until 4 o'clock when he leaves to go do some TV work. And Jamie, I think the question now becomes, who can you lean on right now? And when it comes to this defensive core, can you ask any more out of the current group you have? Because I think that's what we do as fans, right? We say, well, Colton Parayko now has to step up. He's got to do more. But that winds up, I think, leading to issues. And I know he scored the 2 goals the other night, but when injuries happen, can your current guys, can they simply step up and do more than what they're capable of?
No, I don't think doing more than what you're capable of is the right way to go about it. Now, I think you can ask more of Colton Parayko. I think you can ask more of Suter and Falk. After that, the other 3 guys, I just want them playing a good, simple game. Put in good minutes, positive minutes. All that means is don't get scored on. Play hard, play as fast as you can, and just do your job. Because if P.O. Joseph tries to become something that he's not, we'll see exactly what happens. It'll happen fast. Scott Perunovich, the same thing. Matthew Kessel. These are 3 young defensemen still trying to find their way in the NHL. So if I'm a coaching staff, I'm not even bothering them. But I am going to call the 3 older guys and say, listen, it's time to step it up. Mm-hmm. So Colton, Ryan, you guys might be playing north of 25 minutes a game. Bottom line.
Yeah.
And Justin Falk, you might be right there with them. And if we're out there, for Justin Falk in particular, if he will be partnered with P.O. Joseph, his job is to almost act as a player coach, not telling him what to do, but just reinforcing the style of play, telling him what he's seeing, telling him what's available, letting him know what teams are doing, because that's his partner, man. That's his wingman. And if he doesn't help him along, then when things go sideways, then it's on him.
Yeah.
So I think you can ask more of the players that are, more veteran or more experienced. But I think the younger guys, just ask them to play their own game.
I think if I'm Drew Bannister, Carey, I'm almost looking at it as every opponent that we face, or most opponents that we face, not everyone, but most opponents that we face, we're probably going to have a disadvantage from a personnel and a talent standpoint because our 3 guys are out right now. 3 key guys are out right now. So we're not going to be able to match up with teams one-on-one. Let's keep the game close and get it into the third period. That would be my philosophy moving forward here until those guys come back. It's not unlike an overmatched football team that's like, don't turn the ball over. Let's run the ball. Let's play good defense. We'll take the points when we can. Get it into the fourth quarter. Give us a shot. And we'll try to win every game 20-17. If you're the Blues, you're trying to win every game 2-1. And then once those guys come back, then you can kind of go from there. But for now, first 2 periods, possess the puck. Don't turn it over. Don't get sloppy in the neutral zone. Don't do anything too creative. Get it to the third period. Try to win every game 2-1.
I was going to say, for me, Scott Perunovich, I think this is a big opportunity for him because he's a guy that maybe a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago, they were talking about maybe being waived, not being on the team, maybe being sent down and trying to figure some things out. But now you're almost forced into action because of the injuries in front of you. And I agree with you. You're probably going to give Suter and Parayko all the minutes that they can handle. But at some point, they're probably going to get a little tired, a little gassed, and you're going to have some of those younger guys take an opportunity to get some of those minutes. So I think Perunovich would get an opportunity, is given an opportunity due to the injuries in front of him, that you can really make a name for yourself. You don't have to worry. You don't have to panic. You don't have to worry about, if I don't play well, I'm going to go sit down, or I'm not going to have an opportunity. I'm going to be a healthy scratch next game. Like, there's really nowhere else to turn at this point. So I think it's an opportunity to see the best version of him. We talked about it yesterday, where he is a guy that when you're worried about, you're looking over your shoulder, you're not able to play your game in your way, this might be an opportunity to get the best version of him that you've seen in a Blues uniform thus far.
Yeah, I totally agree. And if you're Scott Perunovich, if you're P.O. Joseph, Matthew Kessel, this is a huge moment for you. Because 6, 7, 8 games down the road, when people look back, they'll look back and say, man, those injuries really killed the Blues. Man, that's too bad. They had a promising season ahead of them. Or they'll look back and say, those young guys carried them through that mess. And now Letty's back and Broberg's on the mend. And now look at the team go. That's exactly what you're going to have. You're going to have one or the other. So for these young guys, for me, if I was a young guy, I would take this personal.
I would be so excited.
Yeah.
Because, again, you look on that bench and you're like, he's in street clothes. He's out for this long. He's not playing. He's not healthy. Where are they going to go? I might as well play the best game I can play and not concern myself with what ifs. Because at this moment, there are no what ifs. There's nobody looking over your shoulder. Nobody going to be tapping you if you aren't playing well. And you don't have, it takes a little bit of stress off where you can just play and just have fun and go back to what got you there. So I'm looking forward to seeing him hopefully show up and show out.
One thing that I wouldn't be surprised to see either is certain parts of the game to where you're not going to see Perunovich and Kessel partnered up. Mm-hmm. You'll see Perunovich take a shift with Parayko. You'll see Suter take a shift with Kessel. Then you'll see Suter with Parayko, P.O. Joseph with Falk. Then you'll go back to Perunovich and Parayko. You can do that. I know that because my very first year in the NHL, myself and Chris McAlpine, who is another young defenseman, we took turns playing with Al McInnes. It'd be like a rotation. So we were playing 4 defensemen plus 2 guys that you kind of worked in.
Yeah.
So that's not off the table either, especially against a team like Tampa.
Does that hurt you from a chemistry standpoint? Or?
No, should be fine. It's looking at it from the perspective of Colton Parayko is that good that you can play pretty much any young player with him, and he's going to be just fine. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, it usually works out. And then Ryan Suter, absolutely no problem there. Him not carrying, but working with a young player like Matthew Kessel.
Yeah.
Now, P.O. Joseph, maybe he gets a turn with Colton Parayko, and then you see Perunovich play with Falk. You could see any number of combinations throughout this tenure of time to where these injuries happen. And yeah, there's a certain level of chemistry that you have with the same partner all the time. But there's also chemistry that can be built by just being familiar with a player. So if Scott Perunovich plays enough shifts with Colton Parayko, which he has already, I mean, in years past, last year, he knows what he's getting into. Parayko knows what Perunovich does. So I'm just saying, don't be surprised if you don't see throughout the game various combinations on the D, on the D side.
Jamie, what else do we need to know about tonight's game against the Lightning from the Blues perspective? Line combinations. You mentioned we've already talked about the defensive core.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the line combination. I think the lines are identical to what they were the other night. I don't see why you'd change them. You had a good game. For me, it's stylistically, the Blues have to be much heavier. And what I mean by that is the first period last game, the Leafs were controlling the majority of the play. There was a lot of stick checking going on for the Blues.
Yeah.
And in the second and the third period, you saw a lot more physicality, going through bodies, playing through the opposition. You have to play that way again tonight because the Lightning, as far as a staff or a roster standpoint, is very similar to the Maple Leafs. They have a lot of talent, high-end talent. Kucherov, Braden Point. You have to be determined if he plays tonight, but if he does, he's a guy you got to watch. No Stamkos anymore, but that lineup is filled with really good players. And if you're sitting out there all night waving the magic wand, just wanting to play stick-checking hockey, then you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble. So for me, the strategy tonight would be puck management, because you don't want to give these guys any easy outs or easy transitions, and then finish every hit you possibly can.
That's Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. G-Dog from the Snake Pit already checking in. I wish Rivs would quiet down so we could hear from the hockey guy.
Oh, yeah. I apologize. Carey, your thoughts.
You did it. You did a good job. We talked about it in the office.
We did.
Exactly the points I hit on. Yep. No problem.
You did a nice job reiterating some of the notes that Carey provided for you. Air Comfort Service tax line 314-399-9646. It's one way to get a hold of us. If you want to use the mic drop feature, you can always do that via the 101 ESPN app. That's Schaefer Door Company, 101 ESPN app. We'll be here until 6 o'clock. We've got a lot going on. You got the NFL trade deadline, already some moves that have happened. You've got the college football first rankings coming out, so we'll get a good look at the first rankings when it comes to the playoffs and who would be in the playoffs if the playoffs started tomorrow. Other than that, hockey, Blues, Lightning. Jamie has got his 67 keys to victory for tonight, and we'll play the Light the Lamp goal game as well. Monday Night Football. I can't imagine that Marsh and Carey have moved the Chiefs into the number one spot, because we also have the Stalter and Fastlane Stackup coming up a little bit later. I can't imagine Carey or Marsh move the Chiefs into number one after last night.
That performance?
Despite winning again. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Car insurance and home insurance are very important, and it's also very important that you have the right insurance company. You go with Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency. They are the best in the business. They're partnered up with Allstate Insurance, and they're going to compete and work hard for the best rates available. They're also going to make sure that you have the right kind of coverage and that you're covered completely the way you need to be, because it's not if something happens, it's when something happens. And when that happens, you want to make sure that you have the proper coverage. So please call the Bibb Agency and have them check on everything. And one thing about the Bibb Agency, they're not a 1-800 number. You're not going to get somebody different all the time, have to talk to 4 different people. I had that before. I hated it. I love calling the Bibb Agency and talking to somebody who can give me answers immediately or help me right away, whether it's just sending me my insurance card, checking on a policy, a deductible, no matter what, they're right there to help you in real time right away. And you also continue to get that great customer service from each and every one of them. So please, for a free non-committal quote, give them a call. That number's 314-328-4260. Again, that's 314-328-4260. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb.
Caliendo comes in. He's eligible. Here is Hunt for the touchdown. Kansas City remains unbeaten. 8-0 in a win in overtime.
Joe Buck on the call last night, ESPN, as the Chiefs punch in the game-winning score in overtime. Kareem Hunt.
I don't like that.
What, you don't like that they scored a touchdown?
No, I'm fine with that. I don't like the game's over. I still don't like the overtime format. Like, you won a game because you won a coin toss. I just don't like that.
Well, they won a game because they scored 24 other points and
Anthony,
then won a coin toss
Carey,
and then drove the length of the field and scored again.
Silliness. You won a coin toss, so therefore you have an opportunity to go win a football game. What happened to letting the other team get a chance too? A coin toss decides the game. I just don't like it.
Did the Bucs not have 60 minutes of football to try to
and so did the Chiefs, Anthony, and they both ended up even.
Right.
So they should both have even amount of attempts to try and win the game.
Maybe the Bucs should stop somebody. Just a thought.
Stop.
No, I'm just saying.
So
did the Bucs not play on defense last night?
Coin toss.
I was watching the game. I didn't realize that they didn't have defense last night. What the hell are you talking
Defense was
about?
optional for both teams.
It was
last
optional
night.
in the overtime.
I don't like that a coin toss determines the outcome. Bottom line. No, we changed it. No, coin toss not going to determine if you kick a field goal. Then the other team gets to go kick a field goal too. No. Why? What's the difference? If you score a touchdown, you're not telling me the Bucs couldn't have just as good a chance to come down and score a touchdown right back at you? Of course they could.
Well, then stop them.
Whatever. Just think it's dumb.
Yeah, I am agreeing. I am in agreement with that.
Yeah.
That's why they changed the rule for overtime for the playoffs. Both teams get a possession. You might as well make it that way in regular season as well. But neither here nor there. Let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. Fantastic, huh? 8-0. They are spectacular.
Some would say they're perfect.
They have a perfect record. Mm-hmm. They are not a perfect team.
No team is, Carey.
Well,
no team is.
Specifically not this one. Mm-hmm. And I fear for all my Chiefs fans, including you, Anthony, your hearts are going to be ripped out and stomped on at some point. I don't know when, but this is not a championship football team.
What?
They're not. They're a good team. They're an undefeated team. They have no blemishes. You can't knock that. This is not a team that can win a championship. That's just my opinion. You're playing against a team in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that I don't know where any of these receivers came from other than Sterling Shepard, because all of the people are hurt, and they're still able to have success somewhat in the passing game. K. Dodden had a really good game. Sterling Shepard had a good game as well. Like, they're for me. Steve Spagnuolo, and I talked to you about this. We've talked about there were times where Baker, if you make the right decision and throw where the blitz is coming from, that team can be beat. Baker did that a few times last night where the pressure did not get home. You know it's going to be man, probably zero, depending on how many people they bring, which means nobody's back to help a cornerback or help the secondary member if the receiver were to get past them. They have holes in their team, in my opinion. One being the receiver position. I thought they did a great job of getting Kelsey and the tight ends involved. How they I will give Andy Reid this credit. How a tight end is open over the middle every single play, somebody got to tell me how, because there's no reason for it. If you have any common sense, which I'm sure a lot of these coaches, why not just run man and have a safety over the top of Kelsey? And then figure out if somebody else is going to beat you, because they don't have people that can get open like that. But they can hook up in zones and find windows all day and night. It's mind-blowing watching this. Now, again, they are 8-0. But they are not, in my opinion, a championship team. And eventually, Anthony, your heart will be ripped out and stumped over.
Well, I'm a Falcon fan. That's going to happen no matter what.
Well,
That's a good point.
You're a Falcon fan until the playoffs, and then you become a Chiefs fan. You morph into this this fandom that I saw last week.
Mighty Morphin Power Stalter.
Jamie was right, though. It's not the playoffs. It's a Super Bowl.
That's right.
That's when I morph into a Chiefs fan.
It's the bye week.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's the bye week that does it to me.
Anthony, what's it like having the refs on your side?
I don't know. I'm a Falcon fan. Kyle Pitts got mugged in the end zone week 3 and no call. So you want to ask me during the bye week, I'd be more than happy to answer that. The Super Bowl bye week, then I'll be more than happy to answer your question, Mark.
You think Jawan Taylor got a game ball last night?
For being offsides?
Yeah. Or a false start?
Or a false start? Yeah. Hey, can I ask you guys a question for my resident Chief haters here?
Might as well.
Why do we let the Bucs off for injuries but not the Chiefs?
What are you talking about?
Because the Chiefs still have players that can make plays. Travis Kelce is still there. Last I checked, he was probably one of the best tight ends in the league. I know you don't consider him a tight end.
He can barely move.
But he's still there.
He runs the same intermediate route.
Hines said something a long time ago that I thought was interesting. They say I lost a step. I never had a step to lose. It didn't matter. Travis Kelce doesn't have a step. He's not fast. He's never been fast. He's not a burner. He's not going to run past you. He just knows how to get open.
Does that look like the Travis Kelce that we have seen in years past?
I can't tell who's catching the passes because all the tight ends look the same to me.
They're all the same number,
running
pretty much,
the same route. Mm-hmm. And they're whether it's Travis Kelce, you got more eyeballs on them. They run it. They're throwing it to Gray. They're throwing it to the other tight ends. They're finding ways to get people open.
They find ways to win.
They find a way to win.
With Noah Gray and Justin Watson and guys like that. DeAndre Hopkins, 2 touchdowns last night. He's been on the team for an hour. Kareem Hunt nobody wanted Kareem Hunt. Not a damn person. He's running over Tampa Bay like it's nothing because their second best player behind Mahomes has got a broken leg and he's been out for most of the year. And Isaiah Pacheco. Pacheco's out. Rashee Rice is out. As soon as Mike Evans and Chris Godwin go out, we're like, oh, geez, Tampa. Oh, no, Tampa. You try so hard.
Because their quarterback is Baker Mayfield. We're comparing Baker Mayfield to Patrick Mahomes.
No, I'm comparing 2 situations, Marsh. I'm not comparing Baker Mayfield to Patrick Mahomes. Let's not get ridiculous. I'm comparing the 2 situations. They lost 2 wide receivers. The Kansas City Chiefs lost their number 1 wide receiver and their number 1 running back, and we're like, that doesn't look perfect.
That's the difference,
They're
though.
winning
They
games.
have Patrick Mahomes on their team.
I thought Baker Mayfield, despite not having 2 wide receivers, played very well. You said Sterling Shepard had a good game. He had a good drive.
It's limited in what they can do.
And he's making do what I thought Baker Mayfield actually played pretty well given the situation.
And if Chris Godwin are out there, do you think that they win that game?
Yes.
No. Oh, my gosh.
Absolutely not. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they do.
Are you serious?
With those 2 guys, you think they're going into Arrowhead and beating the Chiefs? No.
I think they almost beat them last night without him.
Whole game plan changes, doesn't it?
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. The game plan guy.
Doesn't it, though? I don't
The game
think
plan gets easier.
I don't think Cade Otton catches an 8 or 9 passes for 77 yards.
I know, because Mike Evans probably catches 6 of them for 113, and Chris Godwin
doesn't
probably
blow out
catches
his
7 of
hamstring.
them for another 98 and has 2 touchdowns.
If he doesn't drop passes.
Nah, come on. We can do the what-ifs all day.
Exactly. The what-ifs were the Chiefs won last night.
They won.
They won with Kareem Hunt, who was on the couch.
I led with that.
3 weeks ago.
They won.
And
Travis Kelce had
without their number
14
1 wide
catches for
receivers.
100 yards yesterday.
Tampa may want to figure out how to cover them. Like, what are we talking about here?
I'm just telling you. Don't be surprised, man.
With what? They lose a game?
No, that they're not a championship team.
Okay.
This is.
I love the Ravens. They got no defense.
I'm not talking about I don't care who it is.
You don't like Buffalo.
It ain't the Chiefs.
You don't like Buffalo. You love Baltimore.
Nah, you know who I love.
You love Pittsburgh.
Here we go. Steelers. Here we go. Pittsburgh going to the Super Bowl. Here we go.
So terrible.
It's like karaoke.
It's terrible.
And come on, the Lions would smoke the Chiefs if they played them next week. Right here in the parking lot.
Until Dan Campbell goes for a fake punt all the way back up to his end zone. They lose, and then we're like, well, if Dan Campbell didn't do this. This is part of
You're
this
the
is what I'm
if guy
talking about with
today.
the Chiefs.
He's
the
an if guy. He is.
If. That's all I've
He is
heard.
if.
This whole segment.
No, I say when.
No, he
When?
said if.
They wouldn't have to go for it on 4th down.
Apologies. When Dan
They'd be up
Campbell.
28.
When Dan Campbell.
If the Bucs had Dan Campbell, they'd
goes
have won
for it on
last
4th
night.
down.
They'd have went for 2 instead of that damn extra
Backed
point.
up to his own end zone, and they cost the game. Like, well, if Dan Campbell just did so and so.
If.
That's what you guys would be saying.
No.
Meanwhile, all the Chiefs do is keep winning games.
And I said that. They win. They're 8-0. They have a perfect record. ... They aren't a championship team. That's all I said. To me, they are not a team that can win a championship. The teams that they've beaten, in all fairness, they should have beaten. Like, they've won the games that they were supposed to win. You talk about 2 games that were close, 1 possession games that they could have lost, and there was an assistance. There was some assistance. The Bengals game, there was assistance. It was a terrible PI call. And then the Falcons game where Kyle Pitts got mugged in the end zone, and nobody, every referee turned their, I didn't see that, didn't see anything. Like there are.
And then last night.
This is a team. You beat the Raiders by 7. You beat the Bucs by 6. You beat the Falcons by 5, the Bengals by 1. Like, you're winning one possession games. Mm-hmm. They are not beating the hell out of people.
This isn't the 1990s college football power rankings, though, where you have to blow everybody out just to get a number one ranking.
It's not about number. I'm telling you, come playoff time, those one possession games, they shift because you're playing better teams. They haven't played. They beat the Saints. They beat the 49ers, who everybody was on IR. Mm-hmm. The Raiders aren't even trying. The Bucs got plenty of people on IR as well. Like, this is a team that is winning games, and it's delightful. They're 8-0. They might go 16, 17-0. But come the playoffs, they aren't a championship team. That's all I'm saying. They are not.
But if they're not, who is?
Say it, Carey.
What teams can beat them?
Yeah.
I think Baltimore can beat them.
With no defense.
I think Baltimore, they don't have any offense. They're throwing the ball 14 times to Travis Kelce. If you decide, okay. Yeah, whatever. Hey.
What did Travis Kelce do to Kyle Hamilton in the AFC title game at M&T Bank?
That's last year.
Okay. But, what did he do? What did the Chiefs do to the Ravens in week 1?
They won 27-20 by a toe nail.
All right. I'm just saying, if the Chiefs
Rasheed
aren't,
Rice had 100 yards that game.
If the Chiefs
Travis
aren't
Kelce,
championship caliber, I don't know who is in the AFC. That's all I'm saying.
I told you who. You didn't want to hear that.
The Steelers?
Okay. Here we go.
All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. What's trending is next.
If you're looking for that old school Vegas feel when you're downloading an app and using an app to bet on sports games, go over and download Circa Sports Illinois. Unbelievable app over there. It's super easy to download. Just you can visit their website or find them on the App Store. And they have great money line splits. They got no betting limits. Derek Stevens, who's the owner of Circa, the casino in Las Vegas, this has been a lifelong dream of his to create the world's largest sports book. And now he puts it in the palm of your hand. It's super easy to use, and I absolutely love getting on there and checking out the NHL action because they give you the best odds. Like tonight, for example, I like the Ottawa Senators playing the Sabres. The Senators are minus 114 on the money line. I like the Leafs over the Bruins, minus 119 on the money line. Those are two great bets right there. And you can find them over at Circa Sports Illinois on the app. And let's not forget that you want to make sure you download it. It's user-friendly, super easy to use, and a lot of fun to collect all your winnings. And you can bet like a pro with your Circa Sports Illinois app today and join in on the excitement. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues are back in action tonight, taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. And you can listen to all the action right here on 101 ESPN. Joe Vitale will join us at 5:30, so stay tuned for that. Also, last night, the Chiefs defeated the Buccaneers 30-24. We just had a spirited debate right here on 101 ESPN. If you missed that conversation, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the Schaefer Door Company mobile app. It is free, so go check it out. You can just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have What's Trending coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at Londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Guys, have you seen what's been happening with Garrett Cole and the New York Yankees?
He's back.
He is back. For those that don't know, he did opt out of his contract on Saturday, and I believe that they were thinking, well, the Yankees will opt in for that 1 year. The club voided his opt-out with a 1 year, which would be $36 million if they were to do so. And they said, no, we're not going to do that. And he's like, well, wait a minute. I'll come back. I'll be a Yankee again. That's essentially how I took it.
It's weird. I was listening to a whole bunch of discussions about this on ESPN radio, and it literally is like he thought, okay, the grass is greener. I'm opting out. And then Scott Boras called him and was like, hey, I just want to tell you that last year it didn't work out so good for the pitchers. They didn't get what they thought they were going to get, and they certainly didn't get the term they thought they were going to get. And they didn't sign in the window that I thought they were going to sign. The season, the spring training had already started. So he's probably say, hey, Garrett, you're in a pretty good spot here right now. Let's play it out and see what happens. And then Garrett Cole hung up, called the Yankees. Cashman said, hey, I was just kidding.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'll be back. See you next year.
And if it wasn't going to be a ton more money, how many suitors are really going to be there to
How
give him?
old is he now?
He's 30.
32? 33?
Maybe?
Either way, he's north of 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one's lining up for that anymore, man.
He's 34.
I think the baseball world last year told everybody, we're not lining up anymore for these 30-plus guys and just handing them everything. If he was 27, I could see, hey, it's about to cash in.
Sure. You know you're going to be a contender. You know the area. You sign there. Why not just go back?
Yeah.
Pass on 4 years, $144 million. Just call it a day. I mean, I don't blame him to at least dip your toe in the water and see if there's another bite at the free agent apple. But as soon as you start to hear, some feet dragging, you go right back to the Yankees. Say, I'll take it. Remember that
the
pact?
Yankees would have said, go blank yourself.
Nah.
That'd be rough. But if you really want him back.
But you could have, right?
You could have, yeah.
You could have sent him packing. You didn't have to give him that 1 year that he wanted and all that stuff. Like, he said, no, we're good.
Yeah.
Interesting.
With the Cardinals not in free agency talk, are you guys still interested in Major League Baseball's offseason? Or like, is the answer still yes because you want to know what the Cardinals are specifically going to do with their players?
First of all, they signed Packy Naughton to a 2-year contract extension.
My bad.
2-year minor league contract.
Yeah, my bad.
So I don't really understand where you're coming from with, like, the Cardinals aren't making any moves and things like that.
Like, the Cardinals, and honestly, it's a wild move because Packy Naughton's not going to play at all until like the second year of the contract, I believe.
I mean, who wouldn't want to go like that? Roderick Munoz, you know? Cardinals are making moves. No, I'm still interested. It's still fun. I think Major League Baseball has completely destroyed its own value by having a lot of like the winter meetings not mean anything anymore. some of the big deals being like a slow trickle. I think baseball really screws up with that. But I'm still interested. I want to know where Juan Soto winds up. I want to know where some of the big free agents sign up. I know it's not going to be here in St. Louis, but I'm still interested to see, when they go to the Dodgers.
Oh, come on.
I mean, champions figure
Am I wrong?
out.
Nope,
Nope.
you're not.
Thank you.
They figure things out.
Carey only likes champions if it's in baseball.
Correct.
No, I like them in all sports.
I don't think so. I think you're proving that you basically like the teams that sign absolutely all of the top free agents and or trades for them. And then when they win it, you're like, that's how it's done.
That is how it's done. That's how they did it. The hell, why can't I do it that way?
You can.
I did. Go Dodgers.
You're just trying to do the Go Tigers thing. All right. Sounded good.
Yep. Carey, speaking of winning football, your Steelers made a move today.
Hey, got another receiver. I don't know how much it's going to help, but we got one. We needed one. Got Mike Williams added to the fold. We're in need of a receiver. I think that's going to help things out because George Pickens on the other end, he's a really good receiver. And if Mike Williams can stretch the field, that just gives you more playmaking ability. I don't know what happened with the Jets. He's a guy that when he was in Los Angeles with the Chargers, one of the better receivers that you have, but just often injured. And so we'll see. I'm excited about it, though. I'm excited that they added. I would have liked to see them add something, maybe interior linemen, because they have had so many injuries up front. You got to keep the quarterback protected. I think the O-line has been doing a pretty good job, but I'm excited about it. Got some guys.
The NFL trade deadline will never be what Major League Baseball and the NBA and the NHL will be, but this at least we are seeing some activity. Because normally, I remember it wasn't that long ago where there was 0 trades made.
Yeah.
None. It was a foregone conclusion that there weren't going to be any deals.
Yeah.
But we've already seen a decent amount of player movement for the NFL.
NBA and baseball is fun because you usually get players traded for one another. Like here, a lot of these trades are draft picks. Like you're getting a guy and then you're trading back some draft picks in return, which, it's exciting, but it's like, nah. When teams trade for a player and the other team, they kind of swap players, that's when it's more exciting, more fun. Basketball and baseball do that really well.
So the college football playoff ranking comes out tonight, and I'm looking at these group of 5 teams that I really want to see. We have Boise State and an undefeated Army.
Yes.
Right now, who would you guys rather see represent the group of 5 in the college football playoff?
I think Army, no offense to Genty and Boise State, but I think Army being a college football playoff team would be incredible.
That'd be awesome.
You think about the limitations. Like we talk about Notre Dame and like the school, like the GPA limitations and all that. That's nothing compared to Navy, Army, Air Force, those limitations, height, weight, all of that. And Army becomes a college football playoff team. I think that would be a remarkable story, especially them. And I know Army's had a recent dominance over Navy over the last, five or so years. But you remember that long stretch where Army wasn't in the consideration in the Army-Navy game.
Yeah.
Let alone something like this. It was always Navy. So I think Army is a really cool story.
So Army takes on Notre Dame in 2 weeks.
Let's go.
Notre Dame ranked 10. They'll probably be in the college football playoff tonight in the top 12. Obviously, Boise State is ranked higher than Army right now, and they have 1 loss, and it's against the number 1 team in the nation in Oregon. If Army defeats Notre Dame and goes undefeated and Boise State plays out the rest of their schedule with 1 loss, who do you think the college football playoff committee ends up favoring? Because Army will have a big win on their schedule if they defeat Notre Dame.
If Army defeats Notre Dame, I think Army will get ahead of Boise. And then it's just a matter of if Army stays ahead of Boise. That I think that's the difference. I think the Army Notre Dame game will decide which one of those teams between Army and Boise State, provided they both win out the rest of the time, who actually becomes a playoff team.
Man, that'd be super disappointing if Army went undefeated and didn't make it in.
So I think they'll be in, because if you're looking at the teams in front of them, like you got Indiana, Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon, all from the Big Ten. You're probably not going to get all four of them in the Big Ten. Indiana plays Ohio State later on this year. Penn State, I mean, they took a tough loss to Ohio State. And then you're looking at some of the SEC teams. You got Texas, Georgia, and Tennessee still in there, vying for a spot. I don't know if you get 4 Big Ten teams and 3 or 4 SEC teams, which opens up a spot for maybe 2 of a Boise State and an Army if they're both ahead in the rankings. I mean, I think tonight is going to be really interesting to see, and they're going to have to explain why certain teams are left out. Like BYU will be in there because right now they're the best Big 12 team, ranked at number 9, but they'll be one of the top 4 seeds based on the rankings at this moment. So it's going to be fun. Indiana may be on the outside looking in, even though they're number 8 in the AP poll. So it's going to be fun to watch this last 3 to 4 weeks and see how things start to shape up for this final 12.
Plus, whoever, if it's Army and Boise State or Army or Boise State, you have more games than what we had before when Cincinnati made the college football playoff. And you're like, I want to see this. And then they get trucked. And everybody's like, told you.
I want to see that.
I didn't want that. And then that's it. You only have, then you have the national championship.
Yeah.
But with this, I'm okay if one of these teams, like let's say Army gets in and Army faces whoever, they get trucked. You're like, all right, hey, great story. They can't match up.
It's good theater.
It's good theater because you got more games coming than just the 2 semifinals in the national championship.
Well, and we know sometimes, I don't know if they'll admit this, I think they're looking for what's good for ratings, right?
Absolutely, you should.
And I think Army would draw.
I do too. Yeah, that's going to be. I hope they get it. It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. Pick'em Challenge recap. Boys, we lost again.
Yeah.
Lost again. That's the Rizzuto show. We were rolling there for a while. We started talking about perfect season. And then things fell apart.
It's good to do charity. It's the holiday. It's the giving season.
That's true, Carey. Yeah.
Give
Quite
to
tired of
those that need. They needed a win. We've given them a few. So
it was nice to get to give back.
We can cut it off after that, though.
Well said.
Yeah. All right. The Pick'em Challenge recap, where we went wrong, regretful picks, all
Somebody
that.
getting shot?
Yeah, me twice. And then you get to shoot me. So I wish I didn't mouth off about the Chiefs earlier. So I wore my jeans. So let's get this
See
done.
that?
Very smart.
Yeah. Extra starch in them, too.
Extra starch in them. That's right. That's all next on 101 ESPN.
Head over to Twin Peaks tonight. Enjoy all of the fantastic things they have on the menu. Great appetizers, great burgers, sandwiches, tacos even. And one of the new items is the quesabirria tacos. They are so good. They got that little dipping sauce on the side, like an au jus almost. Tastes so good. And you couple that with the 29-degree man-size draft. You see the ice on the mug and everything. It's so good, so cold. Catch the Blues game there tonight. They'll have that on as well as anything else that you're looking to watch. The staff is super helpful. They're always friendly, and everybody's having a good time in there. I've never been in there where people aren't smiling and enjoying themselves. So please head over to Twin Peaks in Maplewood. Again, the food is fantastic, and anything you want from the drink menu is available. Great bourbons, great vodkas. You got the Pink Whitney available, as well as anything else that you're looking to drink tonight. So that's over there, again, at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Football Pick'em Challenge on 101 ESPN.
Refreshed by Bud Light.
Well, you sure know how to pick them.
Time for our NFL Pick'em Challenge recap. Refreshed by Bud Light. I had a couple of regretful picks. I knew the Browns were likely to fall back to earth, yet I picked them anyways. I actually kind of like the Falcons this week, but couldn't bring myself to do it. Shame on me for the Bears, taking the Bears. I deserve to get shot this week, and I'll face the punishment.
Yeah, you earned it.
I earned it. I absolutely did. So those were my 3 regretful picks. How about you guys?
I regret picking the Seahawks, even though that thing went to overtime. Obviously the Rams with the win there. Rest of the week, I felt pretty good about things. I picked the Saints, but come on.
Yeah,
who the hell thought the Panthers were going to win that game?
The 1 week I don't pick them. No.
And I don't regret taking the Patriots because I honestly thought they'd beat the Titans.
They almost did.
There's close. Another overtime game there. So the 2 biggest regrets I have for the week were those 2, and they both went to overtime.
And you weren't going to pick the Panthers.
No, wasn't going to pick the Panthers. And I guess maybe the other regret would be picking the Texans over the Jets. I just thought the Jets are such an ish show that they wouldn't be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
I regret picking the Saints. I do. After watching that team, I regret it. They haven't won in 7 weeks, man. They're 2-7. They won the first 2 games of the year. Looked damn good, too. I was like, oh, Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, oh, Chris Olave, they are spectacular. No, they aren't. They're terrible. They fired the coach. This is a bad team. And I should have just went with the Panthers. I don't know why. I just should have. The Panthers are terrible as well, but they ain't as terrible as the Saints, clearly. That says a lot, doesn't it?
Especially since the Saints beat the Panthers like a drum in week 1.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't matter. What have you done for me lately?
What the hell has happened to the Saints?
Hey,
the first 2 weeks are like record points on the board.
Well, they played the Cowboys and the Panthers. That's what happened.
I know.
2 teams that are worse than them.
They can't even beat the Panthers.
Yeah,
Right.
Well, maybe they ain't worse.
Yeah.
The other one, I agree with you, the damn Jets. We were all trying to figure out why they were favored. That's why. Because who the hell what has C.J. Stroud got going on?
Not much.
Nothing. Nico Collins out. Stephon Diggs out. Have 2 of your receivers out. It's tough to win games, isn't it, Anthony?
I would say it's just as difficult,
It's difficult.
as losing your number 1 wide receiver and your starting running back.
Nope, you got a backup running back who
tough,
has
man.
been a Pro Bowler. He's really good.
7 years ago.
3. Maybe
Split it at 4. We'll cut it. We'll meet in the middle. 4-ish. Not really technically in the middle, but March, what about you?
I think the Browns. I picked the Browns over the Chargers. I regret that.
I overthought that.
I did too. I was riding the Jameis Winston high. I really was.
Who
Who
they
wasn't,
should have
though?
lost? Yeah, they should have lost a week ago. They should have lost to the Ravens. The Ravens, we should have been just talking about them barely escaping Cleveland. That's it. It's still Jameis Winston. The Chargers are a better football team. All right, shoot me. Shoot me right now.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Wow. You over it?
Yeah.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah,
That was,
just
that was
do
nice.
it because I'm starting to get angry that I picked the Browns.
Just do it.
You had to ask me
2
twice.
shots coming.
2 shots. All right.
Jamie.
We loaded. We
I'm going to
ready?
get out of the way.
It should be loaded. It should be loaded.
All right. Do I need to?
Wow, Anthony wore the tight pants today, too. Look at the booty.
Jamie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. You didn't even wait.
I did. That was high. That was high. That was high.
I hit it in the belt.
That was high.
I think we only get 1.
Hey, wait, Carey, clip a calf this time.
That one good.
You're getting. Oh! Okay. Guys, I have to interrupt here. We are getting way too close.
Seriously.
Are we too close?
Yeah,
We're
way
way
too
too
close.
close.
In
That's
the-
where I lined up
The Riz show, they're across the studio.
Yeah, they're a bunch of babies. That's what they are.
We used to do it from right here where this thing is that holds your paper, Anthony.
Yeah.
And now Carey,
I was right here. I was at your mic.
he's almost got the butt of the gun up against you.
Yeah,
It might be close.
man.
Was that your first time getting shot?
Twice.
Oh, so you have got.
He got me twice there.
Oh,
He got me one high, just an inch higher to get my belt instead of my rear end.
When did you get shot before?
Week 4
Yeah.
or 5.
Okay, I was just making sure that you didn't want the second shot.
No.
Anthony likes to overachieve.
Okay.
No, he aimed it. He earned it.
That hit you square, like right in the middle, like where the seams meet on each cheek of your jeans. That's where it hit you.
You're right, man. We are close this year.
When the gun is pointed, we're like 4 feet away from the guy's flag.
That is.
I don't want to hear Moon's ass talking about how we're not like doing the punishment right or any of that stuff because we are way closer than they are.
As Carey was lining it up, I thought that was what on earth?
Yeah, he just fired.
Down.
We used to do it from behind this
I'll
thing
scoot
here
back.
and over there. So like that's a good 15 feet.
Get some
We're like
steam
at
coming
4
off
or
that.
5 feet away.
You know
now.
what though?
Get
I
some
feel real
steam coming off
motivated.
of it.
Yeah, there's some big steam.
You can hear like what it.
There might be blood at this point.
It's possible.
Man.
I lost in week 6, Marsh,
Okay.
with 12 points. Yeah, I lost in week 6.
You lost in 12 with 12 points.
12 points.
That's tough.
Yeah, that's a tough one. All right, so you've been shot 3 times, Marsh?
Yes.
It's just
3 times.
3 times.
I
Carey
believe,
twice. Me twice. Jamie twice.
Yeah.
Settle.
And BK none.
Yeah, BK is 0.
How is that even possible? That
So I
guy's the
talked to
worst
him
at
in the
picking
I
things.
know.
Listen, I talked to him in the break room. He's like, yeah, I'm just trying not to be the worst. That's kind of the philosophy.
That's the Cardinals' philosophy.
Yeah.
Now, in fairness to BK, where he gets himself in trouble is when he bets the spread.
Very true.
Because their pick'em game that they play on BK and Ferrari,
not good at
the
that.
spread is, and he
Right.
always he loses every time. So just straight up pick'em,
Might be his
it
thing.
might be his thing.
Yeah.
Ever since they started name calling and they were putting me down, I've only gone up.
Yeah. Nice job, Marsh.
Very
Way
motivating.
to rise above it, Andrew.
Thank you.
I would like BK to join the rotation next week, though.
That'd
I
be
think it's
great.
only fair.
I think you can do it for a couple weeks.
Yeah. Catch up a little bit.
Yes.
All right. It's fast on 101
We'll need
ESPN.
Mike Ryder to make sure he changes his picks.
Right, yeah. Since Mike's doing all the picks.
Yeah. Amazing how, did Ryder not make our picks the last 2 weeks?
No, he didn't. Yeah, since Moon called us out.
Wow. But
on
actually,
using
Moon called
Ryder's
us out
picks.
for Ryder making the picks after they won the first time.
That's correct.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's almost a
weird
stupid
guy, Ace.
reason why they're losing. Instead of the obvious, you know? All right. We got Blues Q's coming up next. So if you've got a Blues-related question, send it in 314-399-9646. Blues Q's next on 101 ESPN.
This year has flown by, and now you're planning to sell your home. Like you, most families have been waiting on the sidelines. Well, now the timing is better, but you still have questions. Who wouldn't? Right? The market is crazy. It's all over the place. If you've got questions, call my friend Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty. I've been telling you guys all about Gloria Liu for a couple of years now. Why? Because Gloria Liu is St. Louis's real estate expert. And if you have a home to sell, you need to get to know her like I have. I've asked several questions over the past couple of years, listened to a lot of the advice that Gloria Liu has, and she's different than any other realtor. That's for sure. She's been in the business for over 21 years. If you need help selling for the most money, you need to do what I did, and that's called Gloria Liu. Here's another tip. If you have a home to sell in Crestwood, Shaw, Maplewood, or the Central West End, you absolutely must call Gloria Liu. Take it from me and call my friend Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
It's time for the Fast Lane's Blues Cues.
.304, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. We got Blues and Lightning pregame right here on 101 ESPN, your home of the Blues, starting at 6 o'clock. Jamie Rivers with us for the next hour. We got Blues Cues right now, though, so if you have a Blues-related question that you want to send to the Air Comfort Service text line, you can. 314-399-9646. Marsh, what do we got?
All right, let's start off with the 636. With Broberg being out, who has the biggest opportunity to step up? Could Perunovic finally find his game?
I mean, look, yeah, Scott Perunovic is certainly one of the players that has a big opportunity to step up here. I think also P.O. Joseph has a great opportunity to step up. When you look at both of these guys, they were both on the outside looking in when the season started. When Leddy was healthy and Broberg was healthy, these two guys were healthy scratches, and now they're getting more playing time. So both of these players have an opportunity to impress the coaching staff and earn themselves more playing time. When it comes to Perunovic, it's pretty simple. The Blues power play has not been good this year. If the Blues power play catches fire at all while he is quarterbacking it, that helps him. It just does, because how then do you justify taking out a player that has ignited your power play? You can't. You got to leave him in there. It's like we always say, be really good at one thing that the team needs. That way they can't take you out of the lineup. So for Scott Perunovic, it's simple. When he gets power play time, create offense. Shoot the puck. Shoot the puck and shoot the puck.
Shoot. Next one comes from the Water Boy. So far this season, who would you say is the Blues MVP / All-Star up to this point of the season?
Yeah, unfortunately.
He just got hurt.
Yeah, look at you go.
Hey.
Crayon-eating son of a gun, you.
He did. He just got hurt.
He did. He did just get hurt. Philip Broberg has been, I mean, not just everything that you thought he'd be. He's been way more than you thought he would be. So, apart from him, you know, it's tough. I mean, Robert Thomas injured and didn't have the start that he wanted. Jordan Kyrie's having a fine start, but...
What about Colton Parayko?
Well, Colton Parayko, yeah, you could say that, but he just started to catch fire. Yeah. You know, the first game I really noticed Colton Parayko finding his game was in Toronto on that road trip. He played very well the whole trip, and then came back here and obviously played well again, a couple of goals. So you could throw him in the mix as well.
From the 801, hey guys, what position should Doug Armstrong look to strengthen at the deadline if the Blues are in a playoff position?
Well, what are the injuries?
Yeah, it all depends.
Right now, you could say defense or center ice. If everybody's healthy, I'd say center ice, but not like depth piece. If the Blues are in a playoff hunt at all, then you've got to go try and acquire that second line center. I think that's a must. I think you can always push centerman to the wing. So no matter who you bring in to put into that spot, if there's somebody else that's currently in there, you can always push them down a line or to the wing.
Mm-hmm. Would that be a move that they would make, or would they look more for Dalibor Dvorsky? Hopefully do you not see him here this year at all at any point? Or
no, I see him here possibly.
But he's not second line center.
I don't see him being that guy. Like, it'd be a lot to ask of him. Being where he's at. He's playing well. He's got 4 goals already in the season in the American Hockey League. And talking to a lot of people who are watching the games, so he's playing very well, but he's still figuring things out. They still think he's a year away from being an everyday NHLer. Now, sometimes that changes. I just think it'd be a lot if you're playoff bound or fighting for a playoff spot, I think it would be a lot to risk saying, oh, let's bring up the kid who hasn't really played a lot, and he's going to be our number 2 centerman. I think I'd rather make a trade and bring in a guy who, just a rental. Yeah. Bring him in, help him, or have him help you get into the playoffs.
We were just talking about Scott Perunovic and trading for a second-line center, or just a center in general. But from the 618, if Perunovic does play well for the next 4 to 6 weeks and Leddy and Broberg are healthy, do you think about moving him for a center? Could you move him for a center?
Perunovic?
Yes.
How well is he playing? Like, is he playing enough to just stay in the lineup, or is he
I think that's
dominating faces?
I think it's the bigger question.
You know what I'm saying?
Because if he's dominating faces, you think about keeping that guy.
You'd probably move on from Letty at that point. And what does Letty get you? Probably not a number 2 center, just saying. And Scott Brunovich, just as it sits, he's not getting you a number 2 center. So, yeah. Packaged up with something else, maybe. I don't know. It's really early to determine that. And it's super hard to quantify it when Scott Brunovich has barely played. And when he's played, it hasn't been fantastic.
Yeah, I think we can kind of file this into the probably not going to happen category.
It's a good one. I like that.
And when I say probably, I mean it's not going to happen.
From the 618, this one's a little eerie. I guess it depends on how you view it. But
Careful.
If it was a guaranteed Stanley Cup victory, what would you sacrifice for now? I'm assuming.
Can we clarify? Am I still living? Or I just don't have a job? Or
I don't know. I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I asked.
No, I'm just kidding. Anthony has a wonderful family. I'm sure they'd miss him.
I'm sure. I don't know about that. Sure, somebody will step in.
I'm guessing this is what would you sacrifice,
What?
roster wise? I don't know where this is.
I thought that meant like in life. What would you sacrifice?
Guys, I'll tell you what, it'd be tough, but I will. I'll sacrifice listening to Dave Matthews Band. I'll give that up, guys. All right, gonna be tough.
It will be tough for you.
But I'm willing to sacrifice it.
So let's just say, what's your favorite food, Anthony?
Probably like Mexican food. So
would you sacrifice
tacos,
Mexican
burritos.
food?
How long are we talking? Forever? A year?
For a blue Stanley Cup.
For a year? For
5 years.
Yeah.
How about 5 years?
5 years.
Wow. Okay,
years.
hang on.
Wait. 5 years of winning the Stanley Cup or 5 years of
Five
not
Stanley
getting
Cup
Mexican
wins?
food?
One Stanley Cup, and you sacrifice one thing for 5 years.
Oh, man. Nah, Blues got to do it on their own merit.
That's a tough call, yeah.
I mean, come on. Tacos, burritos, enchiladas, quesadillas,
margaritas.
Oh, thank you. I mean, it's 1 year. I could do it for a year. 5 years of my life?
I think, Carey, you overshot it.
Well, no, it got to be a sacrifice. That's a sacrifice.
So what would your sacrifice be?
What's your favorite food?
Everything. I don't pick. Like, I love
That's
soul
a great answer.
Yeah.
What's your favorite drink?
Old fashioned. I could sacrifice that for
5 years?
just stop for a second.
I'd roll up right next to you at the bar and take that little straw and swirl it around.
Oh, man.
You see how the cherry floats to the top when you stir it?
Yeah.
So good.
It's the worst kind of friend.
Yes.
5 years. Ooh.
For me, it'd be bourbon. I'd have to give up bourbon
For 5 years? No
no
way.
chance.
No way.
Sorry, Blues.
Yeah.
Yeah, figure it out.
Sorry. Semifinals good for me.
Yep.
What about the Cardinals making the playoffs?
Oh, come on. That'd be 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, it might happen anyways.
What might happen? The Cardinals make the playoffs?
Just making the
Missing the
playoffs?
Oh,
playoffs.
they just make the playoffs.
Well, yeah, so you would have to sacrifice them making the playoffs for 5 years, aka rebuild, retool, reshape,
yeah.
reset, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
you would
they may have
sacrifice the
anyways.
Cardinals?
To win a Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's already happened.
Yeah, people don't care.
It's happening right
Nobody
now.
cares about the Cardinals right now.
Blues won in 2019. Cardinals have missed the playoffs the last 2 years.
So you're saying it's already happened?
Yeah.
They just deferred it. That's what it was.
All right. This one pains me too. But like Blue Stanley Cup.
Oh, boy.
And I'll say 3 years of this, not
Okay.
5. 3 years. City doesn't make the playoffs.
Oh, man, that's your
That's
team.
tough. That's a
your
tough
team.
one. That's a tough one. That's.
You don't.
I mean, we're talking about we're talking about electric atmosphere.
You're not
They
feeling
lost all year. This year, there was still electric atmosphere.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
Anthony, they've been in hibernation. You just woke them up.
it's tough, man. Well, it's got to be a sacrifice.
It has to be something
I'm
that
willing to do
actually
that.
is already happening, I think, to sacrifice it.
As hard as it is, I'm willing to do that.
I think
I think we found it.
I don't think that's how that
I'm a
works.
Blues guy.
I don't think
Same.
that's
If you ask a City SC person, they might say, screw the Blues. We don't care.
Right.
We want the MLS Cup.
Cup.
What do they call it? Is it a cup?
Yeah.
It's not the
Sacred.
Stanley Cup, though.
One of the most sacred trophies in sports.
What does it look like, Anthony?
Oh, well, it's a cup with a handle. The two handles on the
Is this
side.
a big giant cup?
Well, it's like it looks like a bowl.
that was
it's like a big bowl, and
that
it's
was
got.
a NASCAR trophy.
That's what I was.
It looks similar.
The Champions League, they got that huge trophy. That
Oh
they,
yeah,
Have you guys seen that
just
commercial?
win in the regular season. That's all you got to do.
The commercial of those guys in Vegas, they grab that like giant cup from the Caesar's Palace and they just roll around Vegas the entire night like, yeah, we won. Everyone's like partying with them and stuff. And then they get back to the hotel and they put the cup back on the counter and they walk back to their hotel room.
That's funny.
Hilarious.
It is kind of a cup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I was saying.
Yeah, I'm good with sacrificing that.
All right. Well, I think we did it, guys. Congratulations, Blues.
We just got a text from the 314. Please don't show Carey that the Chiefs have played the toughest schedule in the AFC so far.
Carey don't want to hear it.
Who have they played? Baltimore.
They've played Baltimore. They've played Joe Burrow.
They were good.
They were
They're not
terrible.
good.
They played the first place Hot Atlanta Falcons.
Come on.
They played.
You don't even believe the Falcons are good.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You think they're going to win the division by default. What is the Chargers record? Are y'all kidding me? This is not the... Come on, man. The Chargers... All right, stop it.
Hey,
I don't.
the Ravens-
The Saints are 2-7. The 49ers have everybody on their team hurt. The Raiders ain't trying.
And they went into Baltimore and beat the Ravens.
They didn't go into
You
Baltimore.
too.
They played in Kansas City. They won at home.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
The Chiefs won in Vegas.
Mercy. They haven't
Oh,
stopped.
I'm talking about
all
the
day.
Ravens. I thought you said the Ravens.
The Raiders went into.
I thought you said the Ravens. My apologies.
No,
You
yeah,
said
the Raiders. Yeah, the Raiders went into Baltimore and beat the Ravens.
Hang on, we got...
It's 101 ESPN. Listen to the Fast Lane. Anthony, I absolutely love watching you come into the office. You got a little jump in your step, and you're like all proud of
Taking fights with
yourself.
Carey.
Chest puffed up and all this stuff. That wasn't the case not too long ago.
No,
not
no,
the
not at
case. Carey, you should see my guy not too long ago. Me too. Same thing. We come in like
Shoulders dropped.
I'll be like, did you get any sleep last night?
No.
I'm tired. Can't do this. Mentality changed all of that. And all it took was a small visit to their office. The crew's fantastic over there, Anthony. You know, you go in there, see Angel in the group. They're fantastic. They sit down with you. They talk to you. And in our case, they took a full blood panel and figured out pretty quickly, hey, boys, you're low in testosterone, but we can help you.
Yeah, it's that crew down, that mentality. They got two different locations. You usually go to one in Chesterfield. I usually go to one in South County. Although tomorrow I'm going to make the trip out to Chesterfield and see them.
Welcome aboard.
You know, each and every week you stay on the program. You feel fantastic, though. You're right, Jamie. You talk about like irritability. You're dragging all the time, and you're like, what is going on here? So you're trying different things. Spend a whole bunch of money maybe on. And look, the supplement game. Look, there's a lot of good supplements out there, but if you don't find the right ones that work for you, you can wind up wasting a lot of money. But with Mentality, the program works. You feel great in the gym. You feel great out of the gym. Energy levels are high. That, you know, the irritability and everything kind of goes out the window. Your mood stabilizes. The most part. Sometimes we can still get a little fired up, but Mentality's perfect. And if you want to check them out, either location or visit them online at lowtusa.com. But when you do head down to one of their locations, tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you in there. It's Mentality.
Hello, sir.
Oh, Sean McVay has the best playbook. Oh.
Stalter on the fumble.
Oh, my God. Anthony.
You like that? You like that?
You're wrong on this one, Anthony.
Anthony, who cares what you think?
On stacks, on stacks, on stacks.
Time for the Stalter / Fast Lane Stack Up here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN following Week 9. All right, here we go.
Number 10.
Give me the Falcons.
Oh,
Give me the Falcons,
wow.
baby. 6-3. First time I've had them in the top 10. I've waited and I've waited and I've waited. Kirk Cousins, highly efficient. Drake London looks great. Little issue there, I think, with the hip, but should be fine. Bijan Robinson, they're using him big time. More touches than at any point during his career thus far. Kyle Pitts, quiet Sunday, but he's been really good. Defense, I don't think it's excellent, but it's opportunistic. Finally got 3 sacks against a bad Dallas team, but nonetheless, they're 6-3. I gotta give my boys some love, so I got them at number 10.
At number 10, this week I have the Falcons.
Yes! Dirty Birds.
Watching them play, I keep waiting for it to implode, but it hasn't.
Hey, same.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't, not yet. I mean, not to the point where you're like, oh, there they are. So I got the Falcons at 10.
This is going to be a interesting one. I got the Arizona Cardinals, the NFC West leading Arizona Cardinals. Nobody expected them to be here. No one expected them to have an opportunity. Somebody got to win the division. Cardinals saying, why not us? So there you go. I got the Arizona Cardinals as my number 10 team.
I have the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, it didn't look too good against the Detroit Lions this past week, but I still think that they're a good team. I think that they'll be there at the end of the season in the playoffs. So give me the Green Bay Packers at number 10.
Number 9.
This is where I have the Green Bay Packers. You're right, Marcia. It didn't look pretty on Sunday, but the Lions just beat you up consistently. They are one of the best teams in the National Football League. Certainly the best team in the NFC. Packers now 0-2 in the division, but it's a tough division. I thought Jordan Love looked a little sloppy, but I still like that defense. I still like Matt LaFleur. They still have all the pieces in place. It's just they're coming off a bad Sunday. They're the third best team in that division, but it's the best team. It's the best division in football, so I'm not going to knock them. So I got the Packers 9.
Well, they look sloppy because it was a monsoon in Green Bay and Jordan Love was hurt.
Yeah.
I, too, have the Packers at number 9.
I have the Falcons at number 9. Yeah. They are the NFC South champions. You can crown them now. It's over. They are leading the division.
Nope,
no one's
like
going to catch them. They're 4-0. Tampa Bay, no. Carolina, hell no. New Orleans ain't even trying. They just fired their coach. Your NFC South division champion, Atlanta Falcons. It's done. It's a wrap.
Well, that's a kiss of death.
Yeah, I don't like this at all.
They can't lose the division.
Oh, boy.
They can. Certainly
They
lose the
can't.
division. They're only 2
Mathematically, Carey, they can.
Yeah.
They can't.
They
The
can.
only 2 teams, they got 2 more games versus the Panthers and the Saints. You think they can lose? Anthony, it's over. Celebrate.
I've seen some things. I'll never celebrate before the end of the fourth quarter.
You just made a face. It looked like you pooped your pants.
Yeah, I did. I absolutely did.
Champs
Yeah.
of the NFC South. Now, they may be ousted in the first round, but they got this championship.
I have the Philadelphia Eagles at number 9. Saquon Barkley jumping backwards over people.
Oh, yeah.
Their coach still scares me, Nick Sirianni. I know it scares Carey, but give me the Philadelphia Eagles at number 9.
Number 8.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Got him at 8. Nick Sirianni is basically driving a Corvette blindfolded and just out of his mind. He's going to ruin the season for the Eagles at some point. It's going to happen, but this team is really good.
Is he driving blindfolded, or did the nitrous oxide boosters get to him, and now he's driving 4 miles per hour?
Yeah, both. Normally, when I pull somebody over, they pull off to the side of the road, not to the median. But yeah, Nick Sirianni is going to ruin. He's going to ruin this team. He is. But man, when they got a running back jumping over people backwards, they're fun to watch. Jamie?
I have the Vikings here at 8. They dropped 3 spots for me from last week, but still playing well enough to be in my top 10. I've got what I think is maybe a smoke and mirrors team, but I leave them at number 8 for now.
I got the Vikings here as well. I mean, a win is a win. You're playing against Joe Flacco and the Colts, but you won the game. I'm sorry, Jamie. I know that's your favorite
What's
player.
your problem with old people?
I'm old people in football terms.
Is this like one of those things, like if I was to sit down and like to go therapy, like you're really angry with yourself?
Look,
So
every
you
day.
hate everybody else that has
My
gray in
pain,
your beard?
I got pain every day, and
Lord
I'm
knows how you
upset.
feel about me.
You know how I feel about you.
I know. Thank you.
I love
Brother.
I got the Vikings, man. I think they, they're winning games, but all good things come to an end eventually.
Wow, that's positive.
I got them at 8.
I have the NFC South champion.
Yeah, you do.
Atlanta Falcons
I was
at
going to
number
say
8.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Still looked good last night despite the loss.
They did look good.
Kirk Cousins, former number 8, at number 8 for the Atlanta Falcons. So,
There you go.
Give me Atlanta. I like them.
Get hats and T-shirts, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you get them.
Let's wait a couple
Nice.
months.
You get those hats and those T-shirts. It says NFC South.
No, I know, but
They should order them right now.
They can order them now.
We'll give them to you for
They
Christmas.
can wear them now.
So
You can
do that.
I'm so
Thanksgiving.
uncomfortable.
We'll get
have
you know
one.
what we'll do? We'll get you an NFC South hat. Says champion on it, and then we'll get you your own little Kansas City Chiefs shirt for the remainder of the season.
That's nice. Thank you. You're thinking of me. I appreciate it.
Number 7, thank you.
I got Marsh's Vikings here. No, it don't look pretty, but I'm still a believer. I don't love how Sam Darnold's played over the last couple of weeks. That first half was rough, but look, they're still moving the ball at will. He's got to cut down on the turnovers. Ultimately, though, this is still a really sound football team, but I got them at 7.
I've got Steelers going to the Super Bowl.
Here we go.
I mean, I don't think if there ever was a team that was smoke and mirrors, it's this team. They just keep winning. They haven't played anybody good yet. Russell Wilson is going to self-implode. But, hey, they're playing well. They're leading the division. I've got to give them a little bit of respect to have them at 7.
I have the Steelers here as well.
Same reasons?
Well, no, because I think they are, obviously, they're leading the division right now. The Baltimore Orioles, the Baltimore Ravens are a really good team, but as Anthony pointed out, they can't play defense, and that's all they do in Pittsburgh is play defense. And the addition of Russell Wilson at quarterback has had that offense clicking. Najee Harris has never been more excited to go to practice now that Russell Wilson is under center. You add Mike Williams opposite of George Pickens, all right, just wait and see. We're going to be having touchdowns all over the place. Touchdown.
Number 7 for me is the Minnesota Vikings. I have all these little notes right next to all my teams, and what I wrote down for the Vikings is I need more. I need to see more. I need the team to bring it a little bit better. I need more. And more. I just need more from everybody at this point in the season. They have a fairly easy schedule coming up, so if they don't go undefeated against some of the worst teams in the league, I will be extremely disappointed. But give me the Minnesota Vikings for now at number 7.
Number 6.
Pittsburgh Steelers going to the Super Bowl.
Here we go.
I agree with Jamie. They haven't played anybody. They're smoke and mirrors big time, but they also, Carey, as you noted, they play great defense, and there's no denying that Russell Wilson's given them the punch that they've needed offensively. So far, I've been proven wrong on that. So I'll give the Steelers a little love here. I got them at 6.
Yeah, I have the Philadelphia Eagles here at 6. I agree with a lot of what you're saying, Anthony, but again, they keep winning. So I'm going to keep them in my top 10 at number 6.
Until Nick Sirianni
And when he does, they'll drop
the
out.
Ferrari. Yeah.
And at that point,
we'll all drop them.
Yep, I'll adjust.
I have the Buffalo Bills here at 6.
What the?
They are leading their division. They had a game-winning field goal against a team that is not playing really well in Miami, but they are leading the division. And so there you go. They're number 6.
I have the Baltimore Ravens at number 6.
Wow.
I think they're still a good team. 2 bad losses for Baltimore. I just think the teams ahead of them, in my opinion, are better right now.
Holy
so,
smokes. Hey, Marsh, hold off. We'll get to the other 5 coming up after the break here.
do I need to take a minute.
Yeah, you need to take a minute. Okay, let's just reevaluate, regroup. All right,
reevaluate.
And this is for you.
Where are we?
This is for you. Okay.
Well, Carey offered me water. I didn't know it was the.
Yeah, it was. Don't trust his water.
Yeah, don't drink anything Carey gives you.
Yeah. Our top 5 in the NFL next on 101 ESPN. All this rain might have you thinking about whether or not your roof's in good shape. And if it's not, you got to call my friends at The Happy Roof. They do a tremendous job. If you have a leaky roof, an older roof, a damaged roof, call them at 314-665-3001 because the Happy Roof Company will have someone to look at your issue within 24 hours of when you call. They do residential and commercial roofing. So if you find yourself in a situation where you got a commercial roof and that's leaking, again, call the Happy Roof Company. They do a great job. They'll have somebody out to look at it. They've got superior high-end products, 10-year labor warranty on all shingle roofs, over 50 years combined experience in roofing, siding, and gutters. They also work well, the Happy Roof Company does, with insurance companies. If you need help with insurance paperwork or if an insurance claim of yours got denied, but all your neighbors are getting new roofs except for you, call the Happy Roof Company. They work well with insurance companies. All of their market is right here in St. Louis and the surrounding areas. Their headquarters are in Sunset Hills. Cost-effective solutions on flat roofing and metal roofs. Free estimates with competitive pricing as well. Visit them, thehappyroof.com. Call them at 314-665-3001. Tell them Stalter sent you. It's the Happy Roof Company.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues take on the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight. You can listen to that one right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. We'll talk with Joe Vitale later in the show at 5:30, so stay tuned for that. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We're going to continue our Stalter / Fastlane stack up. 5 through 1. We'll see if the Chiefs, who are undefeated, they defeated the Buccaneers last night on Monday Night Football 30-24. We'll see if they are number 1 all across the board. We'll find that out next, right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center Update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Oh, Sean McVay is the best playbook. Oh.
Stalter on the fumble.
Oh my God. Anthony.
You like that? You like that?
You're wrong on this one, Anthony.
Anthony, who cares what you think?
On stacks, on stacks, on stacks.
All right, that's right. Top 5 left here on 101 ESPN. Go ahead, Marsh. Let's continue this.
5.
I got the Commanders. Washington Commanders 5. Their defense, I haven't been a big believer of their defense. I still don't know if it's any good, but you got to give it to them. They're playing very well. Dan Quinn's got those guys in the right spots. They got a weaker schedule, so they're taking advantage of that, but their offense is legit. Give me the Commanders at 5.
Yeah, I too have the Commanders at 5.
Yeah, you do.
And they just traded for Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah, cornerback for the Saints.
So he's going to help. We talked about the defense not being great on paper. They're performing quite fine so far. Now they haven't played any juggernauts, but they're winning games. So I got the Commanders at 5.
I have the Eagles here at 5. They are, you all said that, Nick Sirianni, you don't trust them, but they have one of the most explosive teams on roster, on paper. One of the most explosive rosters on paper. Why you laughing?
I just look at your paper.
I did. I had the Eagles
things
here.
scratched out, added in.
I had to. Well, I had a question. Now I'm going to put the Commanders below the Eagles. And I was like, the Commanders are better. Okay, wait a second. Yeah. The Eagles are here at 5 because of their roster. Saquon Barkley is amazing. And so, yeah. And I think I think that the matchup between those two is going to let us know who's the better team and who wins the division.
Number 5, I have.
Here we go.
Oh, my gosh.
I have the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Somebody's caught up in it.
Pittsburgh going to the Super Bowl.
They're lucky that you make the playoffs.
Their D is sharp. Got a sharp defense. Mm-hmm. They got a better record than Baltimore. What do you sue me? What do you want me to do? They've been better.
Why are you defending yourself?
Yeah, that's
you
fine.
guys called me crazy for having
you just
Baltimore
got really
at number
aggressive,
6.
Marshy.
I mean, you are.
Nobody said a word, and Marshy got aggressive.
Well, he knows, though. He knows.
That's
He's
weird.
projecting.
Number 4.
You're the Bills. You're the Bills. They can run the ball a little bit more now. That game wasn't pretty against Miami. They made plenty of mistakes. But Miami has given the Bills issues before. Like I was saying yesterday, Mike McDaniel, his offense has given Sean. No, he's gone up to Buffalo and they have hung with. You heard me. They have hung with Buffalo. In Miami, they got
even in the cold.
Must be
dragged
nice.
behind the woodshed. But no, I think this Bills team. This Bills team is kind of a sum of its parts, right? Like it's not just one player. They've got a couple of different ways to beat you, and this defense is solid. Give me the Bills 4.
Yeah, I too, Anthony, have the Bills at number 4. Carey just been hating them all season long, and all they've done is serve Carey a plate of shut the heck up, and they keep winning.
Yeah, they have.
You're going to have the Bills and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, we'll see what happens
Probably
there.
Not.
So they went to the Steelers.
Yeah, okay. I got the Commanders here. The Commanders just keep finding ways to win. Jaden Daniels is playing extremely well for a rookie quarterback. And yeah, I think, like I said, the matchup between them and the Eagles will give me a tell as to who is the better team. They play in a couple of weeks, but the Commanders have been playing outstanding. They've been finding ways to win week in and week out. And so I got to put them at 4.
I have the Buffalo Bills at number 4. I wrote down that they are underrated and overlooked by a Especially by one guy.
Definitely. Yeah, it'd be Carey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah. There you go.
Sorry.
Number 3.
Well, we'll see if their defense, their secondary gets any better, but I got the Baltimore Ravens. One of the best offenses in the league. Multiple ways to beat you. Just, the Bills are a poor man's version of the Ravens. The Ravens are legit.
Wow.
Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers is outstanding.
Man, they look really good against the Raiders, the Browns.
Well, they've got some hiccups, Marsh. There's no doubt about it.
I don't like where you're going with that, Marshy.
Play this team in a parking lot, though. They're going to be tough.
Yep.
We'll see if the secondary improves. Their run defense is fine, but their secondaries, you could throw all over them. Ravens 3.
Yeah, Anthony, you and I in lockstep on a lot of these. I've got the Ravens at number 3 as well. For me, they were one of the favorites in the AFC to compete with the Chiefs, to have the opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. They're playing pretty good right now. Defense is, we'll see what happens here after today with the Ravens. But right now, I got them at 3.
I have the Ravens here as well. Again, defensively, if you could catch an interception, you have one less loss than you have, but clearly the DBs don't like catching interceptions, so they couldn't figure out how to win that game against the Browns. But offensively, they are the top team, second best team in the league offensively. They have 2 top MVP candidates, in my opinion, so they're playing really well.
I have the Washington Commanders at number 3. Said it at the beginning of the season, at least after the first 2 weeks, that Washington would win the NFC East. I still remain a fan of the Commanders, and so I'm going to keep them at number 3.
Number 2.
I got Jamie's Detroit Lions here. They've got all the elements to be the top team in the NFC, represents the NFC in the Super Bowl. Jared Goff in weather, winning at Lambeau, something that was unheard of before he got there if you're a Lion. They got 2 incredible running backs, all the weapons from the passing game standpoint. They got Zadarius Smith from the Browns today to give them a little help with the pass rush, but losing Aiden Hutchinson, huge. But so far, I mean, they've looked good defensively. So I got the Lions here at number 2.
Yeah, I have the best team in the NFL here at number 2, the Detroit Lions.
This is just out of spite.
No, because they're the best team in the NFL, except
why
they have
wouldn't you
a loss.
put them at number 2?
They have a loss.
1. Kansas City Chiefs for me. Number 2 team. Record, outstanding. Team, not better than the number 1 team.
I mean, I have the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs number 2. Number 2.
Okay. Number 1.
Yeah, the only undefeated team in the National Football League, the Kansas City Chiefs, number 1. Also the team that is going for 3 straight Super Bowls. All they do is win, yet they're criticized.
No matter what.
Given zero...
I gave him credit.
Given zero credit for overcoming the injuries that they had to Isaiah Pacheco and Rashee Rice. I mean, come on. Kansas City, number 1.
Yeah, me too. I got the Chiefs, although I still think the Lions are the best team in the NFL. You can't say anything about the Chiefs. They haven't lost yet. Until they lose, they're number 1 for me.
I got the Detroit Lions, the best team in football, to take Jamie's words right out of his mouth. They are the best team. They went into Lambeau and they showed it. That was their first, as Marcia said, their first game outside of a dome this year, and it didn't matter. They just show up and show out. So I got the Detroit Lions.
I also have the Lions. This Lions team is scary good. If they can pick up an edge rusher before the deadline, I have to say they're the favorite to win this year. Don't take it from me. Take it from Jamie Rivers. That's exactly what he said.
They did get. Didn't they get one?
They did.
Yeah. There you go.
Number 1 team.
Okay.
Enough said.
Enough said.
Play in the parking lot right now.
All right, I'll take Kansas City.
It's a little wet.
It doesn't matter.
Chiefs will figure
I'll
it
take
out.
the Lions.
I'll take the Lions.
Okay.
Bar fight.
I think one of their players would
Who you got
probably
in a
injure
bar
Patrick
fight?
Mahomes.
2 teams walk into a bar. It's a brawl. You got the Lions or the Chiefs?
Lions.
Yeah. Andy Reid, Dan Campbell square off.
I think I'll take Dan Campbell. Yeah. You give me the Chiefs and the Lions on a football field. Andy Reid versus Dan Campbell. I'll take the Chiefs.
I hope that's the Super Bowl match.
You can't afford for your nose to grow anymore, so quit lying.
I'm not lying at all. Not
He
one
believes
bit.
it.
I absolutely believe it. Why wouldn't I believe it?
I don't know, Anthony, you're a weird guy.
You're a weird guy.
I am. I'm real weird believing the Chiefs are going to win games. You're absolutely right.
Why do you think that?
Why do I think
what makes you
Because they
think
haven't
they'll
lost
win?
any
What
yet.
makes you think they'll win?
I don't know. Maybe the previous 8 weeks, the Super Bowl championships, things like that. Yeah. All right, Jamie's 89 keys to victories for the Blues tonight. And
Boy, you're going to be disappointed.
we'll play Light the Lamp here on 101 ESPN.
If you're looking to renovate your kitchen, your bathroom, or now your outdoor living space, trust the people with over 2 decades of family ownership and operation. That's my friends over at E&B Granite. E&B Granite offers an extensive selection of custom countertops, cabinets, and flooring that cater to all kinds of different tastes. They got a variety of colors, patterns, styles. They're guaranteed to bring new life into your living spaces. E&B, well, they're backed by a skilled team of professional fabricators, installers, and the key right here, the in-house design staff. They do such an amazing job. You go down, visit them at 6135 Manchester Avenue. Sit down, talk to the in-house design staff, tell them what you're looking to accomplish, and they will take it from there. They've got all the countertops in the back, so you can walk in the back and take your pick from granite to marble to soapstone. You name it, they've got it for you. And then the installers are fantastic. They do a great job. That's why they're the best. They walk in, they rip out all the old stuff, no damage to anything. And then when they install everything, you're going to be amazed at what it looks like. And that's all thanks to my friends over at E&B Granite. You can also give them a call to book an appointment. That number is 314-645-9300. That's 314-645-9300. Or visit them at enbgranite.com.
last night on 101 ESPN. Blues and Lightning pregame starting right here on 101 ESPN, starting at 6 o'clock. Jamie Rivers has got, before he heads out the door, his keys to victory for the Blues tonight.
Yeah, first one here for me is you got to have a good first period. Everybody in the NHL is watching to see how the Blues react with all the injuries that they've sustained, in particular to three of their major pieces. Robert Thomas, Philip Broberg, and you can't overlook what Nick Leddy brings to the team on a nightly basis. So you have a good first period. Set the tone. Be even or better after the first. That's always something I believe in. And once you do that, the rest of the game seems to fall in line for you. Second key for me is limit the turnovers. The Tampa Bay Lightning have a team they've had a team for a number of years that just thrives on turnovers. They check very tight. They wait for the turnovers. And when you turn the puck over, they pounce and they bury you. So limit those opportunities for them. Your power play has to do its job. That's one thing that so far this season, the Blues power play just hasn't done its job. It's probably already cost you a couple of games, especially in those tight ones, to where you may have had an opportunity to tie up a score or extend a lead, and you haven't. So the power play has to do its job when called upon. Key number 4, I'm a big believer that physicality evens out everything. You're playing a team that's probably more talented than you, man for man out there, but you can nullify some of that talent by making those guys want to play a different night. Play physical. We saw what it did in the Toronto game.
Yeah.
Braden Shen gets after it in the first period. Jake Neighbors gets involved. Pavel Buchnevich decides to fist pump somebody in the third period. You win the hockey game. So play physical. Play with emotion. I think that's something that this team can really be successful with. When you watch that game the other night against Toronto here at home, you could feel like the momentum picking up. The more intense the game got, the better the Blues were playing, and they were playing with that emotion, that blank you emotion. Yeah, the fire. So for me, play with lots of emotion and get to the net. You got a great goalie in the other end. You've got some bodies now, big bodies that can get there, get to the front of the net, cause some chaos, get an ugly one early, and then you're playing with the lead, which you're just not accustomed to doing so far this year. So those are my keys to the game for tonight.
All right. It's like the lamp.
But a couple of guys can really shoot the puck.
Shoot!
I must confess you scored first.
Well, who was the first person?
Breakaway! Shoots! Score! We got hockey to learn.
All right, who is it, Marsh or Jamie?
I think it's Marshy.
Yes. Give me Brandon Saad tonight.
The Saad father.
Yes.
Brandon Saad. Jamie.
Give me Dylan Holloway.
Really?
Why? You wanted that
Good
guy?
pick. Good pick. Good pick, Jamie.
Thank you.
Nah, I like it.
He hates me for it, but, that's fine. I still
Dylan
love you,
Holloway
Carey.
off the board. Who'd you take, Marsh?
Brandon Saad.
Brandon Saad. Carey?
Give me Pavel Buchnevich.
Buchnevich.
See what he does.
Give me Jake Neighbors. Jake the Snake Neighbors.
Do you guys want my bet the board now?
Yeah.
I know
Are
it's
you in
guys.
first place?
No, I'm not, but
Marshy is. He had a
Marshy,
board
are you
bet.
picking?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Marsh has got the parlay.
Are you
on.
picking a money line game tonight?
Probably not. I'll probably go with a shot pick or something. Saves, who knows?
Marsh, did you hit yours last time?
I did. Baker Mayfield, his longest rush was 10 yards.
It was. I was listening on the radio. I was like, son of a.
Marsh is rolling.
Well, I can wait and text it, but then sometimes I forget, guys.
Say it right now.
I'm going to go on the money line, Ottawa Senators.
Damn it! No, I'm kidding.
Against the Buffalo Buffaloes?
Yeah, the little...
What do you like about them?
A lot. Ottawa's playing pretty good right now. I think that they're finally figuring out their game. They're one of the most physical teams in the NHL, and teams right now are not enjoying playing against them. And Buffalo, to me, doesn't have a whole lot of pushback in their lineup, so I like the Sens.
There you go.
Yeah, that Blues loss doesn't look as bad now. Yeah, then the season is,
Yeah, it still looks
progressed.
8-1's still pretty ugly no matter when you look
No, they're playing better hockey.
They are, but that's...
It's like Mizzou losing to A&M, right? They're playing better football.
Is it?
Doesn't feel that way.
It's not the
Marsh.
same?
No, I don't think so.
It's the same, but it's not the same.
Yeah. I think some people may feel that way, but...
Well, one person said that Mizzou is better than Army and Boise State. We got a text earlier today.
Oh, really?
They meant it, too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, no, things are good.
Fine.
You know, well, let's just be nice. Jamie, have a great call tonight. All right,
I will.
Bring home a win.
I hope so.
There you go. That's Jamie Rivers. He's going to be out for the Blues and the Lightning, and we'll see him on Thursday.
Yes.
All right. It's Fast Line on 101 ESPN. We got the Gauntlet next.
Warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Time for the Gauntlet. 401, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Ryan. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Not much. We appreciate you playing. Thanks for listening. Would you like to take on Marsh, Carey, or me today?
Let's go with Carey.
Carey Davis.
All right, Ryan, good luck.
You too. Appreciate it.
All right, Carey's going to head into the cone of silence right now. Ryan, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel, Marsh.
What category are you hoping for, Ryan?
Oh, I'd say baseball, probably. I know some football, but probably not against Carey. So.
Well, that's not good.
It's football. Oh, okay. Well,
All
hey,
right.
Ryan, you know what? You said you know football. Maybe not as much as Carey, but you never know, man. Some of these questions don't fall into our wheelhouse, so you never know. Thank you,
Yeah,
Marsh.
we'll see how it goes.
All right, so this is going to go. All 4 questions that we're going to give you are worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ryan. Question 1. The Battlehawks lost to which team in the playoffs last season? The Battlehawks lost to which team in the playoffs last season?
I feel like it was Birmingham. Do you need the team name, too? I can't think of their team name.
What do you think, Marsh? Yeah, we need the team name, too. The Birmingham Stallions, the San Antonio Brahmas, or the Michigan Panthers?
Yeah, we'll stick with Birmingham Stallions.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Question number 2. Name the first team Texas A&M lost to this season.
Options.
Is it Notre Dame, Arkansas, or Clemson?
I have no clue. We'll throw Notre Dame out there. Final answer.
All right, question 3. Name the player in the NFL that has scored the most points this season. Name the player in the NFL that has scored the most points this season.
The player that scored the most. Derrick Henry.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Question number 4. Not last season, but 2 seasons ago, who finished the season atop the AP Top 25 rankings in college football?
Not last season, 2 seasons ago. Georgia. Final answer.
All right. We'll bring back Carey from the Cone of Silence. Ryan, how you feeling?
Not too good.
All right. You never know with Carey here. These questions are a little different. All right, Carey.
How goes it?
Good. How are you?
Oh, wonderful.
How was the Cone of Silence?
It was silent.
Dead silent.
Yeah, just me and my thoughts.
Okay. That's scary.
You don't.
All right, Carey. Your category today is football.
Hey, all right.
Football is your category. Are you ready?
Yes.
Marsh?
Pack a lunch.
Okay.
Question 1. The Battlehawks lost to which team in the playoffs last season? The Battlehawks lost to which team in the playoffs last season?
San Antonio. Final answer.
We need the...
Brahmas. Need the whole team?
We had this discussion with Ryan, too.
Sorry.
Final answer.
Final answer.
Question number 2. Name the first team Texas A&M lost to this season.
Oh, man. Was that their first loss to South Carolina? Were they undefeated? I think it was their first loss. First team Texas A&M lost to this season? I think it was South Carolina. I think they were number 10 in the country, but they they lost earlier. Who did they lose to, Marshy?
Well, if you need the options, I can tell you those.
It wasn't South Carolina. They lost to somebody before that, I believe. Oh, it was early in the year. Options, please.
Your options are Notre Dame, Arkansas, or Clemson.
It was Clemson. Is it Notre Dame? That didn't help me at all. Let's say I don't think they lost to Arkansas. Take them out. Let's say Notre Dame. Final answer.
Question 3. Name the player in the NFL that has scored the most points this season.
Gotta be a kicker. Which kicker? Derrick Henry has 12 touchdowns. That's not enough. Where is it? Okay. Options.
Austin Seibert, Derrick Henry, Chris Boswell.
Chris Boswell done kicked a lot of field goals, buddy. I don't think Austin, what? Yeah, because there was a point where he was the only offense that they had. Let's go Chris Boswell. Final answer.
Question number 4. Not last season, but 2 seasons ago, who finished the season atop the AP Top 25 rankings in college football?
2 seasons ago?
2 seasons ago.
Are you asking who won the national championship? What? Not last year, but 2 years ago. So, finished the season atop the top 25.
Mm-hmm.
It was Georgia, wasn't it? That's a weird worded question. So not last year,
but 2 seasons
ago. Georgia. Final answer.
All right, let's go over these.
I don't feel good.
Ryan versus Carey. Ryan, for what it's worth, Ryan didn't feel good either.
Should have listened to the question. Carey.
There we go. See? See? I hate that.
Well, let's find out how Carey screwed up.
Oh, come on.
Not last season, but 2 seasons ago. Who finished the season atop the AP Top 25 rankings in college football? Carey, you said Georgia. Ryan, you said Georgia. Correct answer is...
it's Georgia.
It's Georgia, yeah.
Okay.
It's a weird way to
ask, but would have been fun if it tripped one of you guys up.
Man.
It did not. Neither of you needed the options, so we got a 2-2 tie. Name the first team Texas A&M lost to this season. Ryan, you said you listen to the options. You go, I have no idea. Notre Dame. Carey, you listened to it after thinking about South Carolina for a while, and you're like, man, I know they didn't listen to Arkansas, so I don't know, Notre Dame. Correct answer is...
It's Notre Dame.
It's Notre Dame, week 1.
Yeah.
Week 1 of the season. Notre Dame beat them. Narrow game, low-scoring game. So you guys both took the options on that one. So we have a 3-3 tie. The Battlehawks lost to which team in the playoffs last season? Ryan with the options, because you couldn't think of the name. You said Birmingham Stallions.
Ooh.
Carey.
Might have been them.
Without the options, you said the San Antonio Brahmas.
Okay.
Correct answer is...
It is the San Antonio Brahmas.
It is the San Antonio Brahmas. Ryan, you didn't know it at the time, but when you said Birmingham, do I need the team name? I said yes, because I thought maybe you'd hear the options and maybe think of the Brahmas. So I was trying to nudge you there a little bit. It's the only reason why I asked for the name.
That's all good. I almost changed to Michigan, but that would have still been wrong
either way. Yeah. Either way, Carey did not need the options on that one, so he's got a 2-point lead.
Yeah.
Comes down to this. Name the player in the NFL that has scored the most points this season. Carey, with the options, chose Chris Boswell of the Super Bowl.
Going to the Super Bowl.
Steelers.
Here we go.
Ryan said Derrick Henry without the options.
That's a good guess, man. It's a good guess.
So if it's Derrick Henry,
it's a really good guess.
We've got a tie. If it's Chris Boswell or Austin Seibert, Carey wins. Ryan.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose. Not today.
Correct answer is...
It is all Austin Seibert.
It is Austin Seibert. 97 points. Chris Boswell is 85. Derrick Henry, 78.
Yeah. Okay.
So Derrick Henry is 5th on that list. It typically is a kicker. You were right. Yeah. Ryan, he got you, man. He got you by 2. You had a good showing, though. You got 3 points.
Yeah, I should have known it was a kicker, but it's fun to finally get on. Fun listening to you guys. You guys do a great job.
Oh, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing.
Yep. Have a good one, guys.
All right, you too. That's Ryan here in the Fast Line on 101 ESPN. There you go, Carey.
Yeah.
Nice job.
They always say kickers are the most important players on a football team.
Yeah.
Usually the point leaders.
Yep.
Every team.
Kickers usually say that. They were the most important player on the team.
They are.
No,
Unless
they typically don't.
Make a kick, then you're mad.
Yeah. Like, you blew it. You're barely on the team as it is. That's how it goes.
Those guys work their butts off.
No, they do. All right, so Carey avoids having to sit in the cone of silence, or not the cone of silence, but the penalty box. Mm-hmm. Nice job there, Carey. He wins the Gauntlet today. The NFL trade deadline looks like we're kind of wrapping up here. The team that made the most impactful trade. We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. I really enjoy going down to the Missouri Athletic Club, whether it's the West Clubhouse, get my workout in. I love going down there and, talking with the people that I've, come to know over the last couple of years, or getting something to eat there. My guy, Dan McLaughlin, just texted me, and, him and I have grabbed lunch there before. Love going to the Missouri Athletic Club. But I also enjoy including the family, whether it's something like trunk or treat, get the kids involved, or, something later on in the year, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas. I love going down to the Missouri Athletic Club. That's my MAC. Again, the Missouri Athletic Club. It's NFL trade deadline day. Time to talk about the most impactful trades that we have seen thus far. To get you caught up, the current deals that went on today, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Carey's Pittsburgh Steelers, they traded for Mike Williams of the Jets. They gave up a 5th-round pick in the process for him, so not too much to get another wide receiver to play outside of opposite of George Pickens. Mm-hmm. The Ravens acquired Tre'Davious White from the Rams, so they bolstered their secondary a little bit. They definitely needed somebody to help with that secondary. So he goes to the Ravens for a 7th-round pick. In fact, they swapped 7th-round picks, so that was kind of interesting. It looks like just a kind of a salary dump maybe for the Rams. The Steelers also acquired edge player Preston Smith from the Packers for a 2025 7th-round pick. A couple of other deals that have gone on today. The Commanders acquired Marshawn Lattimore for a 2025 and a 2025 fifth-round pick from the Saints in exchange for a 2025 third-round pick, a 2025 fourth-round pick, and a 2025 sixth-round pick. So this was a pretty significant deal for the Commanders. Adam Schefter reported that the Seahawks not going to trade DK Metcalf, so that's one player that has stayed. The Raiders have maintained that they're not going to trade Max Crosby, so no movement on Max Crosby. The Cowboys acquired Jonathan Mingo from the Panthers for a 2025 seventh-round pick. A 2025 fourth-round pick. Seventh-rounder also goes back to the Cowboys. So Mingo goes from Carolina to Dallas. Second-round bust a couple of years ago for Carolina, but Dallas is looking to just kind of, increase their depth. And the Lions acquired edge rusher Zadarius Smith in exchange for a 2025 fifth and 2026 sixth-round pick from the Cleveland Browns. Carey, out of not only these trades, but also like DeAndre Hopkins going from the Titans to the Chiefs. We also had, what other deal?
Deontay Johnson going to the Ravens.
Amari Cooper goes to the Bills. Yep. The Ravens acquired Deontay Johnson, like you said. There's another one. Oh, well, Devontae Adams. Yeah. Going from the Raiders to the Jets. Who makes the most impactful deal?
I think the Commanders needed a corner. They needed help in the secondary. They got Marshawn Lattimore. We'll see if he's up to speed and ready to roll. The Lions obviously needed somebody to rush the passer. I don't know if Zadarius Smith is past that prime level, but they needed something or someone to add to an already stacked team. They're offensively, they are dynamic. So getting more help on the defensive line, which is what they needed. They had some injuries there. That helps. I like the Ravens getting Tre'Davious White as well. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. If anyone could have caught an interception, they win that game. They dropped 3 or 4 of them, one to seal the game and then give up a touchdown the very next play. Yeah. So I think that the two teams that have lacked, the 3 teams that have lacked, one because of injury in the Lions and then the Commanders and the Ravens, going and getting those 3 defensive players is going to help. Those 3 teams are potent offensively. Like, they are probably 3 of the top teams offensively in the NFL, the Lions, the Ravens, and the Commanders. They play offense really well, but defensively, finding people that can rush the passer and people that can stop passes being thrown over your head, they all did a really good job of going to get the people that they needed to help in that regard.
Yeah, I think the 3 teams that you just mentioned, they filled needs. There's really no debate about it. Now, whether or not Zadarius Smith makes an impact, I don't know. But if you lose to Aiden Hutchinson, you have to do something at the deadline. Yeah. This is a team that's got Super Bowl aspirations. They should feel that way. So as adding Zadarius Smith was, or any pass rusher for that matter, that was a must. So the Lions checked off a need. The Commanders, I love the deal for Marshawn Lattimore. The Saints are clearly in, parachute mode now. They have ejected. They're done. Yep. And they need big time help too when it comes to the cap, because Derek Carr is going to command a lot of money from a cap standpoint next year. They're in trouble. So they need to do something. And the Commanders, to land one of the top corners that became on the market, I don't think he would have been on the market had the Saints hung around in the NFC South. For them to acquire somebody like Lattimore, I thought was huge. Yeah. The Ravens, like you mentioned, they get Deontay Johnson and they get Tre'Davious White. Two needs that they filled. Yep. The other team that I thought addressed one of their needs, and he winds up being a great fit, we saw last night. I think DeAndre Hopkins is a perfect fit for the Chiefs. Yeah. Possession receiver, somebody that can win on the ground. They've got a bunch of guys that can kind of run, but they don't have receivers. Right. They lose Rashee Rice. Yeah. I think adding D-Hop to that passing game it's perfect.
I think they're still lacking that deep threat, that guy that can take the top off of the coverage. And like I said earlier today, if teams decide to run a little bit more man-to-man, maybe you double-team Kelsey and don't let him do what he does in the middle of the field, I think they need that. I don't know what the status is on Hollywood Brown. I know he tore his shoulder up, and I thought there were reports that he may be able to come back towards the latter part of the year. I don't think he's out for the entire season, maybe playoff time. But I think they still need a person that could take the top off of the coverage. Getting Isaiah Pacheco back, they said he was running and cutting, working out a couple of days ago, so he looks like he's getting closer to return to action, which will help, in the running game. But at the addition of DeAndre Hopkins in a position of need. They are decimated with injuries at the receiver position. They are struggling to find anybody that wears an 80 number that is not a tight end to catch a pass.
Right.
And so they got a good one in DeAndre Hopkins. That was a good trade for them.
By the way, the trade deadline is passed now. It was 4 p.m. Eastern time, so it's 3 o'clock local time. So the trade deadline has passed. So which, by the way, Splashback Duke says to Xavier Worthy, is he not worthy? He's
not caught up to speed, I don't think, in terms of what right now he's a guy that I think they limit the playbook for him. Yeah. They don't give him too much. They give him on end arounds and maybe he like the pass he caught yesterday. That is a pass we talk often about. We were talking about Aaron Rodgers and the red line. That's the mentality. You can't step out of bounds on a touchdown that you're wide open in the end zone. Like, you need to give yourself room so you're not that close to the sideline so that you can walk into the end zone, which he would have had he caught it where he needed to catch it. That's a young player that's still learning how to play offense at the professional level.
That's what I said. They've got speed, but they don't have receivers. Like Xavier Worthy has got speed. They keep him around the line of scrimmage, and he takes advantage of that. I mean, his speed. I think they're using Xavier Worthy for right now exactly how they should. But he clearly is. He's trying to develop. He'll need more time, and this was the case for him coming out of Texas. He was gonna need some time to develop.
Yep.
But I think they're using Worthy in creative ways.
So is that a paradox? The guy with the last name Worthy isn't worthy of the receptions. The guy with the most speed on the field isn't up to speed with the offense.
Wow, yeah. I think
What's going on here?
I think that would be an interesting paradox. Nice job there, Marsh.
Thanks.
That's too big of a word for this show, but you know what?
I had to Google it.
Yeah, well,
you know what you should do? Instead of Googling that, you should Google the bagel loan.
Yeah, Google the bagel loan. That's right. Stewie help you out for all your loan needs. Nice job there, Marsh. So which players would we have to have seen traded? There's one at the top of the list.
Miles Garrett.
No.
Max Crosby. And then Miles Garrett. Yeah.
The Browns are not getting rid of Miles Garrett ever.
I didn't think so.
Ever.
The Raiders keeping Max Crosby in handcuffs is like the saddest thing in the world.
And they shouldn't. Like, you shouldn't trade. You don't trade players like that. If they leave in free agency, hey, man, wish you the best, tip of cap. Appreciate all the work you did. But you think I'm trading you? Mm-hmm. For what? What could the Raiders get back that is better than Max Crosby at this point? What?
Nothing.
There you go. So why in the world? Well, yeah, they're not going to. Who? Which one?
Derek Carr.
No, they had him already. They let him go.
Hey, man, what if they get Derek Carr? What if they get Derek Carr back and Devontae Adams back? Right?
Nope. Don't think that's
that'd
going
be
to
a
work.
lethal combination. The Fresno State combo
didn't work out too well.
Okay.
They told Derek to go home. You don't even have to play the rest of this year.
Yeah.
We'll see you when we see you.
Mm-hmm.
He's at the Pro Bowl looking weird. Like, that's weird. I don't know. I'm a Pro Bowler, but I wasn't even on my team.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks of the year. He sent me home. That's a weird dynamic. You don't trade players like that. I wouldn't.
We got a text from the 314. This is another great one. Xavier Worthy. Xavier isn't their savior.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting play on words there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 618 says, is it a paradox or an oxymoron? Which one is it?
It's a great question. See, I just bring these questions to the table. I don't know the answers.
This is the problem. You bring up a clever word like that, and then we got people, that actually do stuff for a living, like teachers, chiming in now.
I think it's an oxymoron, a figure of speech which apparently contradictory terms appear in conjunction.
See, a paradox is a statement or situation that seems contradictory or goes against common sense, but may actually be true.
Did you guys ever read the definition of words and still not know what the hell it is? Let me look this up, and then you're still like, I don't know what this means at all. Or do you ever read a definition where the word is in the definition?
Yeah.
And you're like, that's not how that works.
I was told as a child, you can't have that. You can't define the word with the word in the definition.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
See, when I think of paradox, I think of like science. And I was never good at science, unless it was the 7th grade. I had a really good grade in that 7th grade science class, but ever since then, I have not been good.
Why the 7th grade?
I don't know.
It was just your year.
That was my year.
You were locked in.
That was my career. It was a career high in science.
For sure. You peaked in 7th grade.
Well, I'm just in science.
Sure.
I haven't peaked yet, Anthony.
Okay.
You got to have that mindset.
When it came to my schooling, I peaked in 4th grade. It was my best year. It was all downhill from there. 5th grade, 6th grade, oh man, awful. 7th, not great at all.
Really?
Yeah. 4th grade, though, that was my jam.
You know what, though? I think
this is grief.
I will give credit to my science teacher who made science fun.
Oh.
Isn't that amazing when teachers make things fun?
Yeah.
It makes you want to learn.
That is interesting, Marsh. It's very interesting.
It works well.
Yeah.
Same thing with coaches.
Yeah, definitely.
Make it fun for them.
Darn right.
They'll learn more.
Yeah, stop screaming at them. It's kind of like parenthood, but
Anthony,
boy, it's just they still get under your skin, you know. Like they don't pick up their stuff, even though you say it over and over again. You try to be positive about it, like you can do it. I believe in you, and then they don't, and then they turn around and ask for more candy or something, and you just.
Had enough?
You had enough.
We got a text from 314 says 7th grade is when they introduce you to the Bunsen burner. So maybe that's where you're excited.
Don't remember that.
You don't remember the Bunsen burner? You start the light and stuff up?
No, I learned that and from Breaking Bad.
Also an educational documentary.
It is.
Yeah.
Be careful.
All right. Time for the Sports Six Pack. 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service text line. Send in your questions there. Sixer next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues take on the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight. You can listen to that one right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. We'll talk with Joe Vitale at 5:30, so stay tuned for that. Also, last night, the Chiefs defeated the Buccaneers 30-24. We did our NFL Week 9 Pick'em Challenge recap. If you missed that or anything from today's show, make sure you check it out on the website or the Schaefer Door Company mobile app. That app is free, so go check it out. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so get your questions in to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Suffering from ED or PE? Your first treatment is free at ParamountMen'sMedical.com.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsham, Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers will be on television tonight for the Blues game. Blues and Lightning pregame right here on 101 ESPN starting at 6 o'clock. Time for our Sports Six-Pack. This is where you submit questions to the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Marsh, hit it.
Question number 1.
So when we talk about the Blues, and Jamie said this before, somebody needs to set the tone. And I think that we just got a question from the water boy that sets the tone for the Sports Six-Pack. And here it is. Mac Tuesday starts tonight. Do you think our Chips have a chance to beat Bowling Green and go on a run to become bowl eligible?
Yeah, well said. Great question. Maction starts tonight. This is the time of year when college football really gets serious. You would think that it's the college football playoff rankings coming out, Carey. It's not. It's Maction. You got Central Michigan hosting Bowling Green tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central Time. You might be tuned into the Blues. That's fine. That's great. But why don't you have a side TV, maybe your phone, locked into our Chips, taking on those Bowling Green Falcons. Yes, fire up Chips.
This is the first time you'll be going against the Falcons, correct?
Well, I've gone against the Falcons before,
fair.
but the Bowling Green Falcons.
Yes, he did last week.
Well,
Cowboys.
you know why I do that.
He chose.
Now, Central Michigan might be a 13.5-point dog, but this is where legends are made, right here on Maction as it starts on a Tuesday night.
And we know that legends never die.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So give me CMU in a massive upset as they start their backup quarterback.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You know what?
You remember Bert Emanuel?
Yeah. Yes.
His son is the quarterback for CMU. He's hurt.
Oh.
So,
Anthony, you sound pretty strong in your conviction about the
chips.
The chips. I think you should use that as your bet the board play tonight.
Maybe I will. Find out more later. Okay. Either way, fire up Chips. And fire up
Question number 2.
Coming off
you can stop right there. Question number 2.
Yes. From the 386, is the move to trade for Jonathan Mingo a Cardinals-type move for the Cowboys?
Yeah, I don't.
You mean like where he gets better?
Well, no. Like, what was the purpose?
I don't know. Because CeeDee Lamb's got a bad shoulder now?
Cool. Cooper Rush go
Cooper Rush has to have. Speaking of fire up Chips, Cooper Rush has got to have somebody to throw to.
I'm trying to figure out what the purpose of that trade was. Like, you got a lot of other needs, necessities.
Yeah.
Things you could probably, maybe a running back. I mean, Dowdle actually did okay.
He did okay.
But this is not a move the needle situation.
No, not at all.
You know what? I'm
this
wrong.
Is taking a flyer on.
I hope it does go well for Mingo. I hope he does a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cowboys decided that Dak Prescott, as he's going on IR, did they make that decision?
Yes, they did last night.
He's on IR. So they made that decision to put him on IR and made the decision to get a receiver today.
Mm-hmm. Well, they already have a quarterback.
Cooper Rush.
Yeah, fire up chips.
Damn right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, beyond that, and look, Cooper Rush, again, pride of Central Michigan. No knock on him.
Antonio Brown.
Him too.
Okay.
What does it say about Trey Lance? That they're not even going to take a look at him.
We knew Trey Lance wasn't starting.
They're not even going to take a look.
Did you think he had a chance?
No.
He does have a chance if something happens to Cooper over the next 4 weeks. Trey Lance is your starting quarterback.
What I'm saying is, Cooper Rush, clear backup.
Cooper Rush balled the last time he played. He was like 6-1. He was balling.
A little better team then.
It's the same team, Anthony. Still the Cowboys.
I know, they still got the star in the helmet.
It's the same organization.
Better roster.
Oh.
Yeah, better roster.
Who's keeping track of those things?
But what does it say about Trey Lance that he's not even going to sniff the field? Like, you're not even going to just say, hey, you know what? To hell with it. Next 4 weeks, let's evaluate this kid.
Here's what you need to know. He's one step closer to being the starting quarterback than he was 2 days ago.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's factual.
There you go. One step. Mm-hmm. One turned ankle.
Yeah.
Broken pinky on the throwing hand. You know?
Yeah.
Sprained thumb.
Well, let's not wish injury upon our former champ.
No, we want Cooper balled. That's why they went and got Mingo. Got to have guys to throw it to.
You guys know that I don't like the Cowboys, but man, I would find it hilarious if they ran the table with Cooper Rush as their quarterback.
That would be ideal, actually.
That would be hilarious.
He did throw a touchdown and a 2-point conversion last week.
He was fine when he stepped in.
He was really good a couple of years ago.
Honestly, the offense didn't look that much different than when Dak was in there last week.
Didn't he have that was 2 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
was 6-1.
I don't know if he went 6-1.
I'm pretty sure he did.
It was pretty damn good.
They were talking.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, because I was
Noah Brown like a guy,
I was. This doesn't. I know this is going to surprise you, but I was hyping him up. I was hyping him up during that time. So hey, even when Dak gets back, it's the Coop show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have the Eagles.
That's a loss.
At home.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Let's just say they lose that game. But they have the Texans.
That's another loss.
Commanders.
That's a third loss.
Giants. Bengals. Panthers. Bucs. Eagles again. Commanders again.
You had me at the Giants and the Panthers. Maybe the Coop show can get you 2 dubs there.
Maybe not.
Dak also might be back at that point. I don't know. I think it's a safer bet to say the Cowboy season is over.
You think?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm confident saying that.
Question number 3.
From the 314, should the college football playoffs be expanded to 32 teams?
Yes.
You know, it's half of every other NCAA sport, 5 to 6 weeks, just like March Madness.
No.
Let's do that. More football, more playoff football.
I can do 16.
I'm in.
I can do 16.
Okay. 16 makes sense.
16 makes a lot of sense.
I can do 16. I think because there are going to be a few teams, probably an Indiana team with one loss to Ohio State that is on the outside looking in. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be heartbreaking for them.
You know what I'd like to see? Every group of 5 conference like have a title game, and that team plays almost like a
play-in game?
Like a play-in almost. You know?
That would be cool. You just want Army in there.
Well,
you want Army in there, you know they're going to get screwed.
I want Army in there this season, but I'm also thinking about my chips at some point. You know, when we're good again.
How far out are our Central Michigan Chippewas?
Well, we're 3-6.
Okay. What does the roster look like, though?
Not good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? The one year that they have a good team, and they'll probably be that group of 5 team, they'll implement this play-in game, and they'll lose.
I don't like what you're saying. 16 would be fun. 32 feels like a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Way too many.
Yeah. But I'm good with 16. I think this playoff is going to be so much fun. And I think if people were on the fence about it, then by the time the playoffs kick off people will be all in on that. We're talking about college football playoffs. When does that begin? Because that matters too.
Start December. I don't know. Final game is the last week.
So you get the Army-Navy game.
That's like December 1st, isn't it?
Typically. It's like the first weekend in December.
I thought it was the 12th.
Maybe it is.
The 12th of December?
Well,
that seems late.
Most of the...
Maybe not.
No, Army plays UTSA on the 1st. Michigan, so most of it is, it's the following week.
It's the 14th.
Really?
Yeah, Navy and Army. Or Army-Navy.
Army-Navy.
14th.
Okay.
So it had to be the week after.
Okay, so the playoffs start
That'd be
the week after?
Yeah, because then that would lead us up to...
The playoffs start that week. So I wonder if Army is in the playoff, do they play that bowl game? Do they play that Army-Navy game?
Oh, my gosh.
Because...
Have to. They will.
You probably can't.
Army-Navy will kick off.
That game...
Army-Navy will be played.
Those guys can play 2 games.
No. That game is December... That game is scheduled for December 14th.
Yes.
And the bowl playoffs... Well, maybe they start after that.
I think it's the week after.
Army-Navy will be played. That is a
college
tradition.
Football playoff round starts on the 21st.
There you go.
But
that is a tradition unlike any other.
But if you're playing in the playoffs,
the Masters. You play it. It doesn't matter. Those teams. Oh yeah.
Anthony.
Carey.
I don't.
Army-Navy.
I'm not disagreeing.
We're not talking Michigan, Ohio State. We're not talking Yankees, Red Sox. We're talking Army-Navy.
But you put you're putting. I get it, and I'm not saying that it makes you less than. I think Navy would probably be like, no, get ready for the playoffs, like because those two.
No.
I hope we don't have
Carey, we're not talking
They're
Ravens.
Not rooting for
we're
them.
not talking Ravens Steelers.
But
we're not talking Central Michigan, Western Michigan. We're talking about
that's
fair.
Between those two teams that they understand. And if Army has a chance to play for a national championship, and instead of playing the Army-Navy game the week before, let's say your starting quarterback gets hurt. Nobody else is playing that week.
They will play that game. They will play the starters. They will play that game.
So I wonder if that game would have any effect on the playoff.
The playoffs will already have been set.
It will be set?
It should be, yeah.
So you wouldn't play any of your starters then?
Yes, you would.
I know.
It's Army-Navy.
It's
Anthony,
Army you cannot.
Navy.
And you're talking about a national championship.
That is the national championship
not
for
when
them.
There's a real national championship in the following week, an opportunity.
Carey, you and I have disagreed a lot today. In the last 10 years, I will fight you on this, and I will lose.
I don't think they should. I don't think that those two teams play if there is a chance for Army to be in the national championship.
That's the problem. You're not thinking.
I'm thinking clearly. And I think Navy would be on board.
No, they wouldn't.
Nah.
They might be on board ships, but they're not on board with any sort of Army-Navy cancellation, any sort of...
It will be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
By the way, we just got a text from Lisa saying, congratulations, Skip. Mo can't handle you. You have a spine. Well, I looked it up. What happened to Skip Schumacher? Well, he is now with the Rangers front office.
Whoa.
Rangers front office.
Senior advisor.
Okay.
Must be nice.
Similar to the Gersh deal.
That's special
events of projects and events and coordination.
And operations.
VP. Mm-hmm. All right, let's continue our sports segment. That's 101 ESPN. Right now at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they have their Black Friday event. It goes on until December 2nd. They have low financing rates available right now, like 0% APR on Pathfinders and Rogues, 0.9% APR on Frontier, plus no payments for 3 months available on select new Nissans. But it's more than just the deals that they have. They've got over 700 vehicles right there, all in one location out in Herculaneum. It's the largest and best used selection in St. Louis. You're bound to find the perfect vehicle to match your lifestyle and your budget. We as in my wife Chris and I, we found a Pathfinder that was pre-owned at Auto Centers. We started there online at autocentersnissan.com. We perused what they had. We found like 4 or 5 vehicles that we liked. We test drove them at Herculaneum, and we fell in love with the Pathfinder. Low mileage. It was perfect for our family. You'll find the vehicle for you, and they'll finance the vehicle for you too. When it comes to Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they have all sorts of pre-owned vehicles and new Nissans priced various amounts. They've got Nissan Sentras, brand new Nissan Sentras priced around $23,000, both with low payment options and for all credit types. But they've got the 30-day return promise as well. New Nissans come with a complimentary maintenance plan. Select used and new Nissans come with a complimentary lifetime warranty. It's all out in Herculaneum. So check them out online at autocentersnissan.com or down in Herculaneum at Auto Centers Nissan. Tell them Stalter sent you.
time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Suffering from ED or PE? Your first treatment is free at ParamountMen'sMedical.com.
All right, let's wrap up our Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 to ESPN. We answered 3 questions, which means, Carey, we have 3 left.
Good job. Good math.
Can't read or do math, but
almost
every once in a while I stumble into the right answer. No, you go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
Won't do it.
Carey, you've already shot me twice today.
It's not about you.
Oh.
I'll tell you later.
I took that personally, and I apologize.
Clearly.
I'm on edge today. I apologize. It's me. It's not you. Marsh, let's continue this thing.
Before we get to question 4, we did get a text from Thanks Dad asking you a question, Anthony. When are your Chips planning on firing up?
Tonight. That's a great question. Typically, they wait for action, and it's tonight. So, 13.5-point dogs will win outright. I guarantee it.
I was actually going to pick them in my bet the board.
Central Michigan?
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Plus 13.5.
Yeah, man.
Then you said they're on the backup quarterback, and I said, I don't think that's a good idea.
It's next man up.
It is.
And Tyler Johnson's ready to go.
He may be. But here's the thing about college quarterbacks. You usually only get one. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I mean, you get multiple quarterbacks on your roster, but you really get 3. One. Yeah, you get one that's
Some
really
don't
good.
even have one.
Yeah, you get one that's usually really good.
Look, have we lost at Kelly Short Stadium? Yeah, a lot. But not tonight. Not against Bowling Green.
Tonight.
To hell with them.
Question number 4.
All right, gentlemen, Joel Embiid suspended 3 games for shoving a media member. Do you guys think Joel Embiid is the most overrated MVP winner in the NBA right now?
I don't think he's overrated. I think he had a great year. He's had a couple of great years. One where he could have won the MVP and one where he did. I do think that NBA players are very sensitive. Like they are. To be such large human beings, 6'7" and above, 7 feet and above, like they are sensitive, man. Their feelings get hurt very easily. You talk bad about them, you want to shove somebody that's 5'6", 5'7". I don't know how big that reporter is, but I'm just assuming 5'10". Like very sensitive.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to answer your question. No, I don't think he's overrated, but I do think he's oversensitive. Very sensitive.
Yeah.
I think they all are. Kevin Durant is too. They're sensitive people.
Yeah.
You know, offensive linemen tend to be like that as well. They're very gentle
Really?
people. Yeah. They get picked. They get talked about so much. Like they are like the nicest group of people you will ever. If you get a group of offensive linemen as friends, like they are like the best people in the world. They seem mean and vicious, but they're nice. They're very sensitive too. Like. It's something about being that large and people talking about you. It's just,
wow.
It's weird.
So out of all the positions, like, who's the nastiest? Linebackers?
Defensive line. They're terrible people. They are terrible. Defensive linemen are, listen, I've told you this before. I had one grab me under the pile and reached as close as he could to the inner part of my thigh, up as far as he could, and squeezed and turned. And I grabbed his hand, and I wouldn't let go until the pile. God said, when we get out of this game.
I'm going to see who this is.
Oh, when the fourth quarter hits 0, I'm going to harm you, sir.
What team? I won't answer the
Cleveland Browns.
There it
makes
is.
Sense. Yep.
It's Cleveland Browns, man. They are terrible people. They're nasty. Just filthy.
Yeah.
Good. They work their butts off. You that big, you got to run that far, and then no. They are the nastiest ones on the team. Offensive linemen are kind, man. They're
they're trying to protect you.
Kind and caring and compassionate. They are great people.
Yeah.
Like you get an offensive lineman as a friend, you got a friend for freaking life.
Sure.
No lie. Defensive lineman, they can be kind of cutthroat.
Yeah. What about cornerbacks?
They don't know you're there.
Yeah.
You don't
They're
exist.
almost like oblivious, right? Like they have to be.
Almost. Them and receivers, they.
Well, but receivers are divas, and a lot of them are divas. But I feel like cornerbacks are like, I gotta forget you.
They do.
Because if I give up a big play, it's
I feel like they were divas, and then it turned out that they weren't good enough to be wide receivers, and so then they played defense.
Okay, yeah,
that's possible.
But cornerbacks almost seem like they got to be like they're not aware.
Yeah, they're oblivious.
Like they make a big tackle, they're down 45. They make a big tackle, they're like
or
like they're doing the seatbelt.
The receiver cooks you on a route and he drops the pass, and you're like, yeah, you didn't do anything.
Incomplete. You didn't do a damn thing.
Go sit down.
Yeah, like they're not aware.
Oblivious.
Yeah,
they're just there. Running fast and got good hips and can turn and run backwards really quickly.
Safeties, that's a different story. They are very intelligent.
Very cerebral, engaged in the games. Linebackers are, downhill. You got some very intelligent linebackers because you have to be at that position. Middle linebacker, you got to get everybody adjusted and ready to roll. Defense, all in all, I tell you, this is what their playbook looks like. You got one sheet.
And
go get
the quarterback. Yeah.
Okay,
Chase
Coach.
The ball. Makes sense. All right. Go ahead, Marsh.
Question number 5.
We got a question from Droid FX in the Snake Pit, referring to last night's Monday Night Football game. Do you go for 2 at the end of the game if you're the Bucs?
I would have.
Yeah, and Aikman called him out on that. Now, he's right. I think you gotta go for 2. You've already lost both games to the Falcons in the division.
Mm-hmm.
You're out of your wide receiver. Your 2 wide receivers are down. One for the year, one for the who knows with Mike Evans, and you've got the Chiefs right there. You are in that situation a couple of yards away from possibly winning it. And that doesn't mean that Patrick Mahomes won't go down the field, kick the field goal, and win it anyways. But at that point, I would have gone for 2.
Yes, and
you've worked you all the way back in it.
You ran 2 really good plays on the goal line. That the one you scored on, the one you could have scored the play before that. I'm sure they had 2 or 3 more plays from that range, 2.5, 3 yards in, that would have gotten them in the end zone. And Baker Mayfield could have used his legs. Like you worked that hard to get back into that game and score that touchdown to put you down by 1 in Kansas City. As you said, all of the people that you have injured, you're not even supposed to be in that game.
Right.
So at that point,
I mean, that is like overtime, though. Like you have the ball.
So
essentially,
I thought Todd Bowles made the biggest mistake was calling the timeout with 30 seconds left. They could have ran another play. If you would have worked that clock a little bit, scored, knowing that Mahomes, we've seen him 13 seconds win a game. But if he would have worked that clock a little bit more, then scored, then go for 2, Mahomes got no time at that point.
Would you rather give Mahomes 30 seconds or a full quarter to
I'd rather
win
give him no time. I don't want him to have the ball at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he made a mistake calling a timeout with 30 seconds left, and that was Mayfield. That wasn't Todd Bowles. So I think they could have worked the clock a little bit more and then give him, no time basically.
But even so, like 30 seconds compared to a quarter of overtime.
I'm with you. I would have went for 2.
Yeah.
You would have too, it sounds like, is what you're saying.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mentioned that a few weeks ago when Florida almost beat LSU.
Mm-hmm.
You came back in the game. Go for 2.
Right.
Like, what do you have to lose?
Yeah.
Especially Florida. Like, they have nothing to lose.
If I got the better defense, I might go for...
That was LSU that went for 1 at that point because LSU came back. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah, LSU
that was
the
LSU
one.
Versus... You're talking about a night... Was it a night game?
It was a few weeks ago.
It was LSU came back into the game and went to overtime.
They were on the road.
They were at home, I thought.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they were at home.
Do we have any of these details correct?
I'm pretty sure
I
might be talking about 2 different games.
I was thinking of Florida LSU. Maybe I'm wrong.
It was I remember a couple of weeks ago it was a night game. LSU came back. They kicked the field goal, wound up winning it in overtime, but the debate was whether or not they should go for 2. And I didn't think it was
Ole Miss.
It was Ole Miss.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, wait. No, Florida and LSU haven't even played each other
it was Ole Miss. LSU kicked the extra point.
Yes.
Instead of going for 2. Instead of going for 2, and then they won in overtime.
They won in overtime. Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I was right. No, it was Florida, Tennessee. That's who I was thinking.
Tennessee?
Florida, Tennessee.
Yeah.
That game went to overtime, 23-17 final.
Gotcha.
That was LSU.
Gotcha.
My bad.
That's all right. Yeah. All right. That's our sports 5-pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. College football playoff. The rankings come out tonight. What are we going to see? What are we hoping to see? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and if you're a contractor or you own a business that needs recycling, then you need to know about my good friends over at Scrap Mart Metals. They are tailor-made for your business to meet your schedule and your budget. They understand that job site cleanup for contractors is a mess. If you set up a business account with Scrap Mart to recycle that metal, it'll be one less thing you have to do during cleanup. You'd be amazed at how the scrap metals add up and how it can truly help your business's cash flow. If you're a plumber, heating and cooling, excavator, or any type of contractor, Scrap Mart Metals recycling can make your job easier. You own that heavy equipment, it breaks down time and time again. You get frustrated. Eventually, you're going to have to end your suffering. Scrap Mart will come and get it out of your way. They'll haul your equipment to one of their locations and get you a check the same day. Or if you want to haul it yourself, they have 3 convenient locations: Valley Park, Peevely, Jonesburg. If it's metal, they will buy it. It is recycling made easy. They offer convenient drive-on scale, and they have the highest payout. You will always get your top dollar for your scrap metals. Just visit them at scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas can talk to you about setting up a business account to get you rolling. That's scrapmartmetals.com, and tell them Carey Davis sent you.
Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Tonight. Not tonight. Actually, no, tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah, college football. The college football rankings come out. Why is it important? First look at the 12 playoff teams that will be in the college football playoff.
I'm excited.
Now, first thing you got to know is these 12 teams, not all of them are going to make it. When they did the college football, like the 4, rarely, if ever, did the rankings stay the same. Usually there was a team or two that did not make it at the end, certainly not in that order. So while it's fun to kind of look at how everything gets ranked, this is really just a fluid situation. And not a fast lane fluid situation, just an actual fluid situation.
You know what I'm excited about?
What are you excited about?
Because tonight is going to be chaotic, right? In terms of the college football playoff, the rankings. I'm excited about the people that don't listen and understand the reasoning for why your team isn't in there. Like in Indiana, if they're not in there, IU fans are going to be living, we're the number 8 team in the country. How are we? You got to pay attention. You got to follow the rules. You got to listen. And there are going to be so many people that don't listen because who the hell listens? They just watch. They just look. They just see what their eyes see and they don't listen. Their ears don't work well.
Why would we listen?
Why would they? So I'm excited to see those people that don't read or don't listen very well and choose not to, not because they're unable to, but because they choose not to and don't understand what is taking place and how frustrated they're going to be. I'm excited for that. I love it when people don't pay attention and they just get angry.
Sure.
Like, pay attention. Look, watch. It's fun. No, you don't think so?
No,
I get excited when people on the text line text things or type things. They're like, you said, no, actually, that's not what I said at all. Listening, it helps in life, in so many facets of your life. Listening and paying attention to the rules can get you so far in life. Sure. And there are so many people that don't, so I get excited when they don't.
I actually
That's
love.
What I'm for.
What'd you say? I stopped listening.
Yeah. I actually love when somebody says something and I'm like, no, that wasn't me. That was Ferrario or BK or whoever. It's like, I didn't say that. Yeah. All right, so ESPN put together kind of a list of questions here. I'll just read some of them. So which is the best one-loss team? Ohio State's victory at Penn State on Saturday gave the Buckeyes their first statement win, and their one-point loss at Oregon is the way to lose if it happens on the road in a close game and against what should be the unanimous number 1 team in the nation. I don't think there's any question about that. Oregon is going to be ranked number 1. I don't know if they are the number 1 team, but they've earned the number 1 status. Yeah. Based on the fact that, 1, they're unbeaten, and 2, they've got some pretty significant wins, Ohio State being the top one. But from there, will it be Ohio State? Will it be Georgia? Who will be the top one-loss team when it comes to the rankings?
So, again, based on how I'm understanding that it works, the top 4 teams in those conferences get the 4 seeds. So right now that would be Oregon, Georgia, Miami, and BYU. Because they represent the Pac-12. I'm sorry, not the Pac-12. The Big 12, the ACC, the Big 10, and the SEC. Okay. They're the Power 4, no longer with the Pac-12. So those 4 teams would be the 1, 2, 3, and 4 seed, however you design it and figure it out. And then you go from there, and then you figure out who are the next 5 through 12. And of those 5 through 12, the one-loss teams, you got Ohio State, you got Penn State, you got Texas, you got Tennessee, Notre Dame is there, Alabama, Boise State. Like, you still have your group of 5 teams that are going to be conference champions. So it's going to be fun for me to see, because you're going to have, like I said, an Indiana team who is sitting there at number 8 in the rankings, but may not be in the final 12 right now.
That would be ridiculous.
But it's not.
Yes, Carey, it would be. I don't care about your rules or listening or context or anything like that.
It's based on the Power 5, the Power 4 champs, expected champs, and then the group of 5 champs. And then everybody else kind of fills in based off of that. So I am excited to see. And again, like you just said, this is not the final ranking. Like, if Indiana, they still play Ohio State at Ohio State. That is a statement win. They got Michigan this upcoming week, and then they got Ohio State in a couple of weeks. Yeah. That is a statement win if you go to Ohio State. And Indiana has been beating people by 30 and 40 points.
Darn right they have.
They were down 10. You mentioned it yesterday. They were down 10 to Michigan State and ran off 47 points. Like, they don't care.
Oh, man, Indiana's going to... No, they're not.
So that's a team right now that is playing extremely well. And, then you start looking at some of the 2-loss teams or the teams that have one really bad loss. Notre Dame loses to Northern Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good loss.
Not at all.
Boise State has one loss, but that's to the number 1 team in the country by 3 or 4 points in Oregon.
Right.
So, there are some really good situations here that I'm excited to see how they all play out. We talked about Army, where they will end up. They're 8-0. They're undefeated. Iowa State taking a loss last week was a tough loss for them because you probably put yourself in a position you might not get to Big 12 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Or you got Colorado chasing you down as well. People definitely want to see the Buffaloes in the college football playoff with some of their star power. So it's just going to be fun, man. I think the next 3 to 4 weeks of college football will be so exciting to see how everything plays out and see who's where and who's in and who's not.
Yeah, you're gonna have other teams that you're gonna have more losses. Is what I'm gonna say. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have more upsets.
Yeah,
we just saw 2 on Saturday. Texas A&M went on the road and lost to South Carolina. Not a huge upset, but an upset nonetheless. And Clemson with a shocking upset to Louisville. And Louisville's got plenty of talent and all that, but they were a 10-point dog on the road to Clemson, and Clemson lost. Mm-hmm. And they didn't look good at all in the second half. I mean, Louisville took it to them in the second half. So you're going to have more upsets. And I've been a bit of a, been a bit of a dog with a bone here on this, but this is why I never understood the argument of if you have an expanded playoff, you'll take away from the regular season. Nothing could be further from the truth.
Right.
You have more intrigue now in college football than you have ever had. Now, is that more because of NIL and the transfer portal? Is that more of a reason? Are those 2 things more of a reason than expansion of college football playoff? Maybe. Either way, everything has lined up well for college football in terms of intrigue, drama, all of that. You still have several weeks of the regular season before we even get to a college football playoff. These rankings, you're going to see teams slide all around because there are no elite teams in college football right now. I think there's
one. I think Oregon is one.
But even you have said in several times in the past.
I think Ohio State playing them on a neutral field, that's probably a 3 to 4 point game in Ohio State's favor.
Mm-hmm. But
the question is, at the quarterback position, which quarterback do you trust more, Will Howard or Dylan Gabriel? And there you go.
Yeah.
They both have I think Ohio State has the capability to do a lot of great things, but Dylan Gabriel, in my opinion, won that matchup first time they played. And so but Georgia is sitting there at 7-1, number 2 team in the country. They lost in a shootout to Alabama.
Yeah.
And on a final play, they are one or 2 plays away from being undefeated as well.
And they thumped Texas.
Yes. They beat
another team that a lot of people
at Texas.
And not even a lot of people. And if you're a college football fan, you follow Texas. Mm-hmm. Texas is legit.
Yeah.
And Georgia just took them behind the woodshed in Austin this season.
Beat them every which way.
Man.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Are you sold? Will be next. So if you've got an Are You Sold statement, 314-399-9646, Air Comfort Service tax line. Are you sold next? Anthony Stalter back with my guy, Stewie. Stewie's on the line right now. And Stewie, I know you got an interesting situation because you're always faced with interesting situations. But what happens when you try to buy a home from a family member?
Well, this is a very special case when you're buying a home from a family member. Anytime you go out and get a loan, the percentage of the value of the property or the purchase price will impact your interest rate. We had an ESPN listener, they're buying the house from their parents. It's a $400,000 house, and the parents only want $300,000. You and I need to join that family, Anthony. But $300,000 is what they want for that house. So what we did was, instead of them having to actually put down a down payment, we had the parents sell the house to the kids for $400,000 and give them a gift of the equity of $100,000. So at the end of the day, they're only borrowing 75% of the value of the property. They don't have to pay PMI. They have no money out of pocket, and they get the best rate with the best deal. So you just have to know how to structure it. If you're in that situation, you're buying a house for your family, call us, and we'll tell you about the loopholes to get the best deal you can get.
There you go. But you do have to call or text Stewie at 314-324-4440. Again, 314-324-4440. Call him, text him, day, night, doesn't matter. Stewie is ready to take your call or your text. It's his personal cell phone number. So even if you want to shoot him a text and say, hey, got an interesting situation myself, can you help me? Stewie will help you. He's fantastic. Stewie, have a great rest of your night. Stay dry.
You too. Take care.
And always Google the bagel loan.
NMLS number 226715.
Time for Are You Sold here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line with Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Carey Davis will be back with us here in a second. What do we got for Are You Sold?
All right, from the 314, we mentioned Skip Schumacher now joining the Texas Rangers organization. Are you sold that Skip Schumacher is not a manager in Major League Baseball because of what he did with the Miami Marlins this past season?
No, I think Skip is a very smart guy. I think he gets the most out of his players. I think the players respect him, not only because he played, but the way that he communicates, I think, is off the charts. I would have loved to see him here in St. Louis, whether it was just remaining as a bench coach and somebody that could eventually replace Ollie Marmol, or circling back around eventually as a manager. I think he's a manager. I don't know why he didn't get, more calls to be a manager. Maybe he's got to bide his time again because of what happened with Miami. But look, 2 years ago, when his pitching was healthy, look what he did. He took a Miami Marlins team that had no business going to the playoffs to the postseason. So I think Skip is an excellent manager, and I think he'll serve whatever team he manages next, and maybe it will be the Cardinals down the line.
All right, this next one comes from the Waterboy. Are you sold that Boise State will have a player chosen in the top 5 for the NFL draft in April?
Do you think Gentry's a top 5 pick? Probably not.
No, I don't think he's a top 5 pick. I think I looked at Mel Kiper's big board. They had him on the big board in the first round. So he's probably going to get drafted early. But I don't think he's a first top 5 pick.
No.
Nah.
Maybe in the 20s somewhere.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I think they have a defensive lineman that is really good as well, but I don't think he's a first rounder either, or first top 5.
So let's say no.
Yeah, no. But that kid can play some ball, man.
Yeah, he can. He can run. And he's going to be a great story, too, if Boise does make the playoffs.
They to me, if they win out, your only loss on the road at Oregon by a fourth quarter loss, last drive, like you're in.
Yeah.
I got to see what you got.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have to see what you're capable of doing at this point.
And that is, when we talk about like the rankings and things like that, it does matter if you're ranked in that top 12 initially, because the committee clearly thinks enough of you to keep to put you in that ranking initially. So they're looking for reasons to keep you in there too, not only to justify their thought process, but also the fact that they had you there on November 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important that they are ranked tonight.
This next one comes from Thanks Dad. Are you sold when businesses or products have annoying commercials? Do you avoid being sold on that product? Interesting question.
Say that again.
So, like, basically, if there is a product out there or a business and they have like an annoying commercial, does it steer you away from actually wanting to buy that product?
Not if the product is something that I need.
And it's convenient. If I'm being completely honest, if the product is convenient, like I need it, or I need a service call and that's the number I'm thinking of, that's the company I'm thinking of, that becomes convenient to me. Yeah, I'm probably gonna still reach out to them despite and that's where advertising is effective.
Mm-hmm.
It might be annoying, but if you remember the company,
they did their job.
Yeah. It's worse when you say, oh, what was that one commercial with the one guy that did such as he was so annoying, and you don't remember the company? That's when it's not effective.
I agree.
From the 636, are you sold on the Detroit Lions being a serious potential Super Bowl champion?
Yes. They have all the elements. They can run the ball. When you can run the ball and you can play good defense, those things travel. Mm-hmm. And I don't think the Lions will have to do much traveling. They probably will earn the number 1 seed in the NFC. But if they don't, if they somehow slip up and somebody else catches them, like Washington or whoever, they can go on the road and they can win. They should have won last season against San Francisco. Maybe should is too strong of a word.
Well,
they had every opportunity to do it. Yeah,
you had an opportunity to go into San Francisco and win that game, and didn't finish it.
Nope.
And you're one game away from the Super Bowl. I think this year, all of the things that could be corrected in the offseason or from last season, I think they have corrected. I think Jared Goff, some people think he's an MVP player, MVP candidate. I don't think he is that.
I think he's in the mix, don't you?
No.
No? Like, not at all?
I mean, he's like 4 or 5.
He would actually, to me, to me, he would embody what, like, a most valuable player actually means to, like, a team. Where if you took Jared Goff off that team and you didn't have him, say he got injured, I don't know if the Lions are the same team.
Could you replace him with an average quarterback and the Lions still be what they are? I don't think so. I think he's played very well.
I think he has, but I think Lamar Jackson is 1. I would put Derrick Henry at 2. I would even have Josh Allen up there at 3 or 4. And I would probably have Saquon Barkley ahead of Jared Goff at this moment. I know that's an unpopular opinion to have 2 running backs in the top 5. Who does that? But, what do I know?
Yeah.
I know a little bit.
From the 636, are you sold that the 636's sand volleyball team will get a win tonight?
Oh, yeah, there's no question about it. When you think about the grit that sand volleyball team plays with, the emotion. I love the way that they, typically, even when they do fall behind, they fight back. A lot of times you're not fast in sand, but that team's fast in sand.
I was going to ask about that because it's been raining pretty much all day for the last 2 days. Like, how do you move in said sand? Like,
That's a great question.
It's got to be much more difficult to move around. So, take your time, be quick as you can be. I think you all got it. Yeah.
Be quick and sand.
Be quick and sand. Not quicksand.
No, you don't want that.
Nah.
Quicksand is actually probably another paradox or oxymoron because if you
quick.
it's very slow.
Yeah, very true.
slow.
Yeah.
I was watching something it was probably on Twitter. It said I had an irrational fear of quicksand growing up. Like you thought for sure as many movies as you saw as a child where quicksand was involved. Like I've never seen quicksand in my life.
Mm-hmm.
This might be a dumb question, but have you ever thought about, man, what if I was in quicksand? Did you ever think that I'd be able to get out of it?
I think everybody does.
Yeah.
How would you get out of it though? Like,
no, you can't because you can't struggle. You need somebody around you
to pull you out.
Gotta be
you
careful.
You couldn't do it on your own, I don't think. As soon as you put your hands down, you're going, that's it. You're donezo.
And it's not like treading water either. Like you can't just kick.
Nope.
Maybe you should test it out.
Nah.
Or I'll test it out.
You do it.
You do it.
But like,
have somebody around.
No, but like, when you fall into like a netting or something. I don't know if someone could invent that.
I don't know if you could.
It's like we're just testing it out,
Yeah. I think you'd. Yeah, man.
I believe in you, Marshy.
Yeah, either way, I believe in you.
Might have to hit the gym a few more times. I don't know if that would help.
I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, I don't think it's
so?
strength. I don't think it's a strength thing.
No,
I think it's a do you have somebody with you thing. And that could help you. That could save your life.
I'm pretty stubborn though, so
yeah. Splashback Deuce from the Snake Pit says it perfectly. Do you guys remember the documentary, The Replacements? Shane Falco talked about that.
He had an irrational fear of quicksand?
No. He talks about quicksand, but not in the way you're thinking.
Oh.
He talks about when one thing goes wrong in a football game, the next thing goes wrong, and all of a sudden you feel like you're in quicksand.
Oh, yeah.
Can't recover.
That team did pretty good, though.
They did.
Certainly, yeah.
They had a wildy kicker.
Yeah, he did. He had some issues, but
cigarettes.
They won in the end.
How did they get away with that?
They used to smoke cigarettes.
There was the replacements. Yeah, they used to smoke. Isn't there an iconic photo of like one of the old quarterbacks?
Like in the 70s.
Smoking a cig?
At halftime.
Like,
calm your nerves.
Well, the guy in the longest yard had a cigarette in his mouth mid-play and ended up recovering a fumble because of it.
It was smart to have that cig there. Yep. All right. Joe Vitale joins us next. We will chat with him about the Blues and the Lightning here on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. We are gearing up for Blues pregame. It starts at 6 o'clock. Puck drop is at 7. The Blues will take on the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight, looking to pick up another win as they defeated the Toronto Maple Leafs over the weekend. We are going to discuss your St. Louis Blues with Joe Vitale, so stay tuned for that. That's coming your way next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, and Anthony Stalter. Let's head to Enterprise Center to chat with our guy, Joe Vitale, who will be in the booth tonight as the Blues take on the Lightning. What's up, Joe?
What's up, boys? I'm in the booth right now. I'm right here next to Mr. Schulte. I got Alex Ferrara right behind me. We're ready for puck drop here in a little bit.
Yeah, excellent, man. We're looking forward to tonight's game. But before we get into hockey, Carey's got an important question that only you can answer.
So, Joe, you know we ask the hard-hitting questions here. Can you tell us the difference, because we had this question earlier, the difference between a paradox and an oxymoron?
I cannot tell you that.
Joey, I thought if anybody could tell us, you would be able to give us the insight, because clearly none of us three know what the hell is going on here.
Listen, when it comes to this type of stuff, I mean, if you want to know why men have nipples or what animal has the longest gestation period, like we discussed, I mean, that's the kind of stuff I'm into, the human anatomy, the biology, outer space. When it comes to verbs and nouns and adjectives and it's just not my thing, guys.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I wish I could be more helpful.
No. It's not your fault. It's ours.
We got to do some research here then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was actually I just scarfed down 3 plantains. I was wondering what the difference between a plantain and a banana. Do you guys know any knowledge on that?
No. You know, Joe.
One is sweeter than the other, I think. A plantain is sweeter.
Yeah, I think whatever I just had was pretty sweet. It took a little while to get down. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a banana fan. Which, by the way, I found out the other day I've been eating bananas all wrong. You ever watch a monkey eat a banana? They always eat them upside down.
Yeah, they turn them around.
Yep, you got to peel it from the bottom.
Yeah. Because then you won't get the strings.
Mm-hmm. And then you don't get the strings. And then don't ever throw your peel away. You can always shine your shoes with the inside of a banana peel.
That's true. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. All right, Joe. Hey, listen, you helped us out.
Sorry. You know, I couldn't help you out with the oxymoron, but I can tell you a lot of things to do with the banana.
I don't know how we got there. But you know what? You landed the plane. That's the key. Yeah. Joe, as we transition to hockey here from bananas, tough loss for the Blues. Another tough loss with Philip Broberg going out. I'm not even going to ask you like, hey, what? How do you replace him? He's been your best player. But for me, if the Blues can just play mistake-free hockey and get into the third period against any opponent, try to win in the third period, right? I mean, what is the game plan when 2 of your best players are out? Well,
I think team-wise, big picture, Stoltz, you're looking at a Blues team that sits 6-6. The Thanksgiving break, if you will, that's always been a really good benchmark. And if you look back over the last couple decades of NHL hockey, especially since 2013 with a lot of the rule changes, when you find yourself in a playoff spot by Thanksgiving, I want to say it's like around 82% you have a chance of getting into the playoffs. So what's basically saying out of 10 teams, 8 your chances are 80% of getting in. Well, what that means to me is that's an important date, because if you don't find yourself in that spot, you're going to find yourself chasing, which becomes very difficult. Now, it's possible. It's not saying it's impossible. You still have a slight chance. Look at the Blues back in 2018. Look at the Edmonton Oilers last year. A dreadful start. They were not in a playoff spot by Thanksgiving, and, of course, they scratched and clawed, and they got 2 of the best players in the world, and that kind of shows you one of the reasons why they could get there. But that Thanksgiving break, that's a big day. So why do I bring that up? I mean, it's an important date because you got a Blues team right now that's sitting at 500. Without Thomas for another at least 3 weeks, and now Broberg probably for 4 to 6 weeks, You're talking about a team that just has to stay afloat and keep their head above water by Thanksgiving. I don't know if it's a realistic expectation to say that you're going to find yourself 4 or 5 games over 500. It'd be great, but you just don't want to fall too far behind. Listen, you got the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight. You got the Utah coming up in a couple days. You got the Bruins. You got the Capitals. They're playing some unbelievable hockey as well. You have a New York trip coming up. You have the Boston in Boston. You have a Buffalo in Carolina. I mean, we have a lot of tough hockey coming up. So this is going to be a tough stretch not only for your opponents and the travel that they're looking at, but you are without your 2 best players. So for the Blues, big picture, how do you continue to keep your head above water? And I think what you just said is exactly right. Your MO, the way you're going to have success is every time you step on the ice for third period, you want a 1-goal swing. You want to be up by 1, you want to be down by 1, or you want to be tied. Mm-hmm. I think that gives you the best opportunity. And Dave Alexander, the goaltender coach here for St. Louis, has told me repeatedly, the goaltender's benchmark every game for Binnington and Hofer, you want to have 10 minutes to go in that third period. You want to look up at that clock, and you want to make sure your team is in a position to win. Because if the Blues really feel like they got that, then they're just opportunistic, and they're just hoping for that bounce. And when you do it that way and you keep things low scoring, you're going to give yourself the best opportunity to put yourself in the mix around Thanksgiving.
Joe, you talked about the injury to Broberg, and P.O. Joseph, Matthew Kessel, and Scott Perunovich have all had healthy scratches so far this year. Which one of those 3 defensemen do you need to see the most from in this time where Broberg is out?
I think P.O. Joseph is going to be your most important defenseman now moving forward without Nick Leddy and, of course, Broberg. He's going to be playing tonight with Justin Falk on that second pair. And listen, guys, I like him because he's a big, long body, and he's just naturally going to take up a lot of room. You know, you look at a player, you compare him to like a Scott Perunovich, where Scott Perunovich certainly has his abilities to jump up in the rush, run a power play, exceptional passer, but he just doesn't take up as much room. You know, he's shorter, less of a reach. You know, with P.O. Joseph, he'll take one step and he can close it, another 4, 5, 6 inches compared to Scott Perunovich. He can make up for his mistakes. He actually skates very well for a big body. He blocks a ton of shots. The question for me right now at P.O. Joseph is, can he sustain 22, 23, 24 minutes a night, given everything kind of going on where he was before this game? A healthy scratch, you come in on that bottom pair, you play 15, 16 minutes, you're a healthy scratch, you're kind of in and out. So this is going to be a big step for him tonight, starting to chew up all these minutes, and certainly Drew Bannister thinks he's fully capable of it. But, we'll see what the minutes look like. Colton Parayko played almost 29 minutes last game. Ryan Suter was just shy around 27. Is it possible for Colton Parayko over the next 4 or 6 weeks, guys, to be playing 30 minutes a night? Most people would say no. I don't know. I mean, go back to the Chicago years on their cup runs. Seabrook, Hjalmarsson, those kind of players were playing 29, 30 minutes every single night, and they played a style where it wasn't so taxing on them. And I think that, the most important player for me overall team-wise over the next 4 to 6 weeks without Thomas and Broberg is going to be Colton Parayko. I mean, he was a horse last game, 2 goals. He had 3 points. He was a +3, 29 minutes, and he was shutting down some of the best players in the world. I know that you're not going to be able to do that every single night, but if you're going to be leaning on Colton Parayko throughout his career here in St. Louis, this is probably the most they've ever going to need to lean on him as much as they're about to lean on him now.
Well said, Joey. Hey, we'll get you out on this one. If there was a player that you haven't mentioned yet that has the best opportunity, the biggest opportunity to step up with these injuries, who would it be?
I'm looking at a player in Dylan Holloway. Stalls, I think that, you brought him in from Edmonton. He was a guy that, had some playoff success last year with Edmonton, but weren't really sure what he was, what he wasn't. They pick him up in the offer sheet there in August along with Broberg. You bring him in, and, instantaneously you can see the kid's got quickness. He's got speed down the middle. He's an exceptional passer. He's got an unbelievable release. I think he's got a great hockey IQ for having such a young age. He's typically only played wing in his NHL career, but now they've moved him to the middle quite a bit. They're going to be flip-flopping him here. Does he play a little bit on the wing tonight with Schenn? Do they move him back to the middle? But I think without Thomas, and I think with a little bit of an inexperience under Pavel Buchnevich as your top center now, you're going to be leaning heavily on that number 2 centerman. Can Braden Schenn do it every single night? I don't know just yet. But Broberg is interesting to me because he brings that skill level. He has a great IQ through the middle. He's got a lot of just intangible things that he brings to the game, and he just brings a lot of energy and just a lot of excitement to what this group could look like. So you look at Thomas being out, that's a huge hole down the middle. Obviously, they're going to go with Pavel Buchnevich. They're going to continue to ride that horse up top as the first-line center. But to me, who's going to fill in that second-line spot? Who's going to be the go-to guy? And I think with everything we've seen up to this point, it's Holloway all the way. So it's really about him going out there and just taking advantage of it and finding the consistency to defend very well, have good face-offs, and ultimately take reins of this position, the second center-line spot.
Joe, great stuff. Have a great call tonight. We'll be listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good, boys. Talk to you next week.
Excellent. All right, this is Joe Vitale here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We'll come back and wrap up the show with Bet the Board, criticisms and compliments, and, of course, our 3 stars of the day. That's next on 101 ESPN. missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com or our Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Even though Andrew Marsh has taken a commanding lead in Bet the Board, we're still all participating. I mean, why not?
It ain't over till it's over.
Nope. So might as well. But Marsh, again, with a 600-point lead, or at least it feels like it for the rest of us.
6. 5.
You got 5, right? You got 5 points.
5 points.
After hitting that 4-team parlay over the weekend.
I don't like it.
He came back last night and picked up a Baker Mayfield's prop play. So nice job, March. You got 5 points.
Thank you.
Sure.
I'm going to start off with the Tampa Bay puck line in the first period. It is at a half point at plus 165, which I thought was interesting given the fact that the Blues continuously give up the lead to start the game.
Yeah.
So give me the Lightning in the first period to win the first period.
Okay, interesting.
You got him scoring a goal.
I have them scoring a goal. They can win. They can lead by 1. They can lead by 2. Doesn't matter as long as it's at least 1.
All right. Jamie said earlier that he was taking the Ottawa Senators tonight on the money line. So all they have to do is win. And I said it before. Well, look, the line has already increased. Give me the Central Michigan Chippewas. Fire up chips plus 14.5.
Yeah. Good for you.
2 touchdowns.
You watching?
Damn right I'm watching.
They're going to cover.
Certainly.
Good team.
Win outright.
With the backup QB. Give me.
It's plus 14.5? I thought you said it was 13 earlier.
I did. It moved up.
Oh, wow.
That doesn't sound good.
Hey.
Yep.
We'll be fine. Fire up chips.
Fire up chips.
Plus 14.5.
Give me the Boston Bruins Maple Leafs over a 5.5.
Okay. That's a low total.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Carey's
I didn't win.
So Marsh has got 5 points. Jamie and I have 1 point. Did Jamie? No, Jamie didn't win last night.
He did not. Edmonton lost 3-0 to the Devils.
Ooh. Little devil magic.
All right, so Marsh has 5. I have 1.
You have 2.
I have 2. Oh, that's right. I had Ohio State.
And you had the over last night.
Son of a beanstalk. Yeah, 2.
Look
for
at
me.
you.
And Carey got his first tonight.
Number 2, Anthony Stalter.
Number 2, Derek Jeter. All right, Marsh, what do you got for criticisms and compliments?
This was one of my favorite texts of the day. We were talking about soccer. Anthony brought it up earlier. When we were talking about things that we would sacrifice for the Blues to win a Stanley Cup. And
tough choices.
It was Stalter's choice.
Yeah.
You mentioned maybe giving up a few seasons for City SC.
For a Blues Stanley Cup.
For a Blues Stanley Cup, correct.
Which would have been very difficult for me.
Yes. We had a text at that time from the 314. I was actually scared when we got a soccer team that you guys were going to start talking about it. I'm honestly really glad you didn't.
Now, wait a minute. That's not fair.
That's a criticism or a compliment.
That's got to be a top 10 text that I've read in quite some time.
I was scared that you're going to talk about it.
I don't know if that's a criticism or a
I'm glad you
compliment.
didn't.
That's...
it's a little bit of both.
Yeah. All right. Hey, either way. Great text.
From the 816, is Anthony from Tennessee? Because he's the only 10 I see.
Oh, thank you. That was, that had to be my wife.
Yeah,
That's so
Kristen
nice.
texted that was so nice of her.
That was really nice. Thank you. And yes, I am from Tennessee.
Amongst everywhere else in the country. New York, Chicago.
Detroit.
San Jose.
Chicago.
New York.
Yeah. Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
From
Atlanta.
Yes, absolutely. From the 314, do you guys remember the video game Pitfall? I believe it had quicksand and alligators.
Oh, I don't remember that one. Yeah.
It sounds familiar. I had to see it.
Pitfall.
Games were so much fun when you were a kid.
Oh, man. When I was real young, when we were young, Super Mario Brothers, Tecmo Bowl,
Zelda,
Paperboy. Remember Paperboy? Paperboy was awesome.
Paperboy.
Yeah.
I would love to see you guys in a Call of Duty lobby. Like
I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, I wouldn't do well.
I'd be angry.
Oh my goodness! I was playing last night. I thought I was gonna rage quit. These kids these guys are insane.
They're good though.
They're
right?
so good. Like I like playing video games. Doesn't mean I'm good at it.
Right.
These guys are insane. Like to the point where it's like it's not even fun.
Yeah, that stinks.
You gonna throw the controller down?
I'm not that. No, I don't get that mad. I'm just like,
I have a cousin that used to do that all the time.
Oh, I hate that.
It was funny.
When I was
We'd make fun of him.
when I was real young, I think it was on PlayStation, Metal Gear Solid. I used to love that game.
Oh yeah,
Love that one. Yeah.
real quick here. 3 stars of the day. Our 3rd star of the day goes to the paradoxes and oxymorons of the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gator explained it really well in the Snake Pit.
Way to go,
Thank you,
Gator.
Yes. 2nd star of the day goes to the Central Michigan Chippewas.
Yeah, fire up chips.
up.
Action tonight, boys. Big night.
1st star of the day goes to Jen for the Halloween candy.
Thank you, Jen. Jen sent us loyal listener. Jen sent us a message saying that we got to get a box of candy. She sends us a box of candy every single year for Halloween. We got it today. Over under is tomorrow. We'll have that. We'll have that done. Blues pregame now. See you.